Very professional.
All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to New Year, New You. We are so excited that you guys are tuning in from all over the country, and we are here in our beautiful pink caddy shack in Tucson, Arizona. And you guys, we have the most amazing morning session available. You're going to be so glad. Hopefully, you're sitting wherever you are. I've got local people here, but hopefully you're sitting in your home right now with a cup of coffee and a big sense of humor because we're going to kick it off this morning. So we have a special couple of guests that have been brought in for this event only. Shh, don't tell anybody. You could have probably seen them on the Tonight Show and Saturday Night Live. But tonight or today, they're coming to you all the way in Tucson, Arizona. Please welcome with me the famous, the amazing, here to pump you up, Hans and Franz! Woo!
Get so many muscles, Hans or Franz or whoever you are.
I'm Hans.
I'm Franz.
We are here to pump you up. You know, Franz, we're basic training, and we're gonna review a couple things of why you're here and where you are going. Believe me now,
Or believe me later.
we have some rookies. New consultants and consultants. Any rookies? But they are smart. And they
Very
are
smart.
Strong. Believe me now.
Or believe me later.
Whoa. There are no girly girls out there. No girly girls. Because they exercise daily. They book appointments. Yeah? Yeah. Appointments, yeah? They exercise daily. They call their customers. Yeah? They hold parties. They smart.
They smart.
Believe me now.
Or believe me later. You know, Hans, I don't see one girly girl out there.
No, me neither.
Believe me now.
Or believe me later.
They're strong. They're smart.
Super.
They're dedicated.
Whoa.
They're committed to a power star. They're committed to pearls of sharing.
Wow.
If you are committed to do your best, stand up and flex your muscle.
Oh, yeah. Let me see you. Oh, there's no girly girls out there. Believe me now.
Or believe me later.
Oh. Oh, my friends. We have so many smart players. They are committed to 30 faces in 30 days. They share the Mary Kay opportunity.
Oh, but Hans, there are even smarter players in the room. They're real team players.
Whoa.
Believe me now.
Or believe me later.
There are no girly girls.
Nope. No girly girls.
They're star consultants.
Whoa.
Oh. Red jackets.
Oh.
They are buff.
Oh. Yeah, buff. Let me see you flex your muscle. Oh, yeah, they buff. You know, for a red jacket, you have to have big arms.
Big arms.
Yes.
They're recruiting women.
Yes.
Muscles. Who exercise daily. Believe me now.
Oh, believe me later. But you know what? There's even smarter girls out there. No girly girls. They work their plan and they plan their work. Or they something like that. I heard that one. They do their 6 most important things. 1, they call their customers.
2,
they go get 5 leads a day.
3.
Let's see, I can't remember. Oh yeah, they put a facial walks out.
4.
They coach their parties.
5.
Oh, yes. Oh, that was hard. They invite people to the meeting.
6.
They sell Mary Kay products. Believe me now.
Oh, believe me later.
Whoa. They also do their 2 plus 2 plus 2. And they do their 3 plus 3 plus 3. We'll explain it to you later. Believe me now.
Oh, believe me later.
Because we're here to pump you up. I'm Hans.
I'm Franz.
That's all.
My nose was running under the mustache. Well, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce you to, or introduce her to you, our, microphones. Tammy!
She's grabbing it. Trish would have
Sorry. At least I don't have hair to mess with. Anyway, our fabulous national sales director, one of my besties, Tammy Vavois. Tammy is a disciplined, determined woman who has a love for people and watching them grow. The secret to Tammy's success is faith, big faith, coupled with consistency and serving. She's found it amazing how people step up when you believe in them. Prime example standing right here in front of you. She tries to give them exactly what she would want given, despite what they are able to give back. Tammy believes in not changing who you are, but doing the best you can and being proud of it. She loves people where they are, whether they stay, go, or come back. Tammy's family is her why. In the beginning, she could be a work-from-home mom for her 3 children, Alex, Addie, and Adam. In her earlier years, Tammy was able to overcome seemingly unattainable things and graduated with honors and a master's degree. She believes your personality comes through when you have the basics down and you then have the confidence to be yourself. Her husband, Fran, of 31 years, is a huge support for Tammy in her business and her accomplishments. She is also a proud grandma, or we call her a glamma. Tammy began her Mary Kay business in 1996, became a sales director 2 years later, and debuted as a national sales director in July 2013. You can still see her speech, her acceptance speech, if you will, online, and it's hysterical, and you better have Kleenex with you. Tammy's achievements have earned her 12 career cars, including 10 pink Cadillacs, trophy on wheels. She's also earned many top director dream trips, including Vienna, Rome, Hawaii, Greece, the Canary Islands, China, London, Argentina, and several others. And she's earned over $2.5 million in her Mary Kay career, with her highest monthly commission check over $24,000. Please stand and welcome National Sales Director, Tammy Vavois.
Am I on?
Yes.
Woo! Hello. How fun is this? Oh my goodness. Well, I'm excited to kick us off this morning with some training. Are you guys ready?
Woohoo!
Yes, you are. Well, I'd love to start us off first with a scripture. So let's look at Malachi 3:3. It says, "He will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver." He will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. And so the Lord will sit and purify us and refine us. And so if you really think about what that means, if you would go and ask a silversmith, what does it mean to be refined and purified. What does that look like? Well, they literally have to take the silver and they have to put it in the hottest part of the fire. Yes, the hottest part of the fire. Are you willing to be in the hottest part? Are you willing to get uncomfortable to be refined? And it has to stay in there to burn off all the impurities, to take off all the things that we do not really want to do and make some changes, is to get uncomfortable, ladies, to get uncomfortable. And then if you ask a silversmith, can you leave it? It says here, he will sit. So the Lord literally has to sit and watch us. And so a silversmith does the same. He has to sit and watch the silver being refined. If you turn for a minute, you will ruin it. Oh my gosh, how great is our Heavenly Father. And so if you think about that, him having to sit there and watch us is critical, because how do you know when it's ready? And if you ask a silversmith, how do you know when the silver is ready? He will tell you when you can see your reflection in it. And so as we become more like our Heavenly Father, so that his reflection shines through us, it is being willing to go through the fire. So I hope you guys are ready and willing to make some changes in 2021. Are you ready? Woo! Woo! All right. The first thing I'm going to share with you, and you're going to write down these notes, and you're going to work on these a little bit later today. We'll pause so you can maybe write down a few things that come to you, but they're going to be for you and for you to share. Did you hear that? Yes, for you to share with who you believe is your leader and your mentor, your director, your recruiter. It is important when you think about becoming better. It says in the word, iron sharpens iron. It is being willing to share your dreams, your beliefs, and things that you need to work on to become better, right? And so we're going to look at some things that will hopefully just allow you to have an inner view, like to look inside and see some things that really matter to you when you get to this new year start off. And maybe some of you have already done this, so that is phenomenal. The first thing is really to think about what brings you joy. So just write that down. What brings me joy? Write the question down and maybe even jot down the first thing that comes to mind. But I challenge you to just sit there and write a few things as you take time really thinking, what brings you joy? Sometimes in a very distracted world and with so many things going on and a very fast-paced and right now chaotic world, do we even remember what brings us joy? Have you stopped doing some things that bring you joy? And I would say for most of us, we have, because in this adjustment, when everything got topsy-turvy, we had to redo, and we have relearned. Praise the Lord. Look at what we're doing. We're in Zoom, we're live, we're doing it all. And we have figured it out how to do it. But in that season of learning something new, a lot of times it takes a little bit extra time. And so some of those things that maybe you were doing that brought you joy, you have not been doing as much of. So what brings you joy? This will tell you a lot about who you are, okay? So be ready to really write there. The next one is, tell about a time that you were successful. Tell about a time when you were successful or felt successful. And that can be so many different things in our life. It might be even a few when you go back and really evaluate. Maybe even think, okay, what was I successful at? What did it feel like as a child? My younger years. What was it like maybe in high school? Where were you feeling successful as a young adult? And as you continue to grow. Because I believe when I reflected on this and look back, there was different places and areas that I felt successful at. And it was just great to revisit those and really think about what that was like. Not only when I was successful, what it was like, but the experience and how you enjoyed it. And maybe also who was there to celebrate it with you. Now, the first question that we talked about, what brings you joy, that's going to tell you a little bit about your purpose. This one, when have you felt a time of being successful, will maybe give you some of your passion. Some of your passion of how you feel successful. And so again, when I reflected back, a lot of that was for me through my sports. believe it or not. Okay, I know, crazy. I did do sports. I don't do any
You
of
were
that now.
actually really good.
I was actually really good. Tracy reminded me. I did sports, and I loved it. I practiced every single day, even when there was not practice. I practiced. I remember I wanted to be. That was not where I was successful, but I wanted to be the pitcher. Tracy was. Okay. But I wanted to be the pitcher. And I remember in our backyard, we had this wall, and I would go back and pitch all day long. I would throw pitches. I was not even the pitcher. You guys, what it reminded me is the passion, the desire of what I was striving to be. Of course, through that, I became a better ball player. It didn't matter that it was not the position that I actually played. It was because I wanted to be better, you guys. I strived. But I remember how excited I would be getting home from school, and the first thing I would do would go play ball outside. My mom would catch with me. My brothers would catch with me. We played ball right after school. I was passionate about softball, you guys. And so when I thought back about that, I remember just the dedication that happened in that season. I remembered who was around with me. My mom was always there to help me. And I could go on and on about other things. When you really start digging deep, I'm going to ask you to reflect even when you were younger, because some passionate and great treasures will come out of that. Okay, the next question is to let's fast forward and let's look about 5 years out from today. And let's think, if you had all the money that you needed, your car's all paid off, your husband's car all paid off, all your children's cars are paid off, your house is paid off, your savings account is full to the brim. Like, you have all the money you need, and you also have all the time you could ever imagine. Now, with all of that, what would you do? What would you do? Because oftentimes we're striving for those two things, not even realizing, what are we really building this for? And if you don't know what that is, the striving will become very mundane. You won't even like it unless you really know what it's for. And so a great example that I have to give you for that today is actually, if I handed you bricks, and I gave you a brick, and I told you to put it down, put some cement on, and I handed you another brick. Put some cement down and put another brick. And then I told you to do that all day, all week. You know what? Every day for a year, you stack bricks. I guarantee you're not going to like it. You're going to dread it. There is going to be zero joy and zero passion. But if I told you you were building a homeless shelter as you stack those bricks, because you knew your purpose. It's the same activity, but now you know why you're doing that. And your joy and your passion will be huge. And the job will not be mundane. You will probably even finish early. And so as we reflect on the interview, I challenge you to spend a little bit more time with this today, not tomorrow, today. The reason that's important is everything that we're going to go through today, if you don't implement in the next 72 hours, it will be lost information. Not will you not only do it, you will not even remember it a week or 2 weeks from now about what we talked about. And a lot of us have come to pour into you today, and the best gift you could give us is to take what we give you and apply it. Okay? So I like to look at my business as kind of two areas. Hopefully I just gave you a vision of a mountaintop. Where are you going? If you were looking out and you saw a mountain and you're like, oh my gosh. I mean, in Arizona, those of us that are in Arizona, the mountains are gorgeous. I mean, they don't even really look real. They're so pretty. They're vibrant blue. It seriously looks like they are not made. And so if you're looking at that mountaintop and you're like, oh my gosh, I just want to get to the top of that mountain. It looks amazing. It looks so joy-filled. And I've done this. And then you go to the base of the mountain. You go to where you're going to walk. And it's not pretty. It's dirt and rocks. And you're like, where's the pretty mountain? All you see in front of you is bushes and dirt and rocks. It is not a pretty hike. It is not. So as you have the vision of your mountaintop, but realistically, we're going to have to take those steps up the mountain. And so that's what I want to talk with you next, because I really see, we have two things that we do. You have that vision, which is really important because it does evoke emotions. You have that vision because it provides the motivation and it takes away that mundane task. You have a vision because it directs your life and it directs your steps. Okay? And so what are those steps? Well, the first thing is most of us have taken our steps and they have been the same. And I know that most of us want to be in a different place this year. And so that means you're going to have to make some changes. Yep. So most of the things that we do are habitual. They estimate that about 85% of the things we do are just habits. How many of you guys start driving down the street and you're going the same direction, like bring your kids to school, and it's not a school day and you don't realize until you're like, wait a second, where am I going? We're so habitual. We just do the same thing over and over and over again. And we know you've heard that if you do that, we call that insanity if you think you're going to get different results and you keep doing the same thing. So what we're going to talk about now is changing those habits. And where I have this information from is from the book called Atomic Habits. I can't remember who it's by. I think James. Anyways, Atomic Habits, so you can find it. Okay. The first thing I want you to know, this is so cool, is that 1% increase, just a 1% increase every single day for an entire year, you will have a 30% increase in being better. Just doing 1% a day. How many guys could just do a little bit more every single day? Just a little bit more. Amazing. Now here's the downsides. Just 1% less. You go the other direction. Okay, so you might want to evaluate, like, what did you do last year? Did you do a little 1% more and made some increase? Or did you do a 1% less and you're kind of head falling backwards? Okay, so it's those baby steps. And I just want to tell you that is my strength, is the baby steps. Okay, and so I love this. So what he talks about is there's 4 stages to forming a new habit. 4 stages to forming a new habit. 1 is called noticing. 2 is called wanting. 3 is called doing. And 4 is liking. Okay, so we'll break that down. First of all, noticing. After you notice, then you're going to implement with intention. Implementing with intention. A lot of us think that we need more motivation and more willpower, but that is not true. How many always think you need more motivation or more willpower? How many guys have started something and stopped it? I was just recently reading, and I can't remember where it's from now. And we always go, okay, when you start a New Year's resolution, how long does it take before you stop doing that? Is it like a month later that you stop doing it? Is it 2 weeks later that you stop doing it? Do you want to know when you stop doing the new thing you said you were going to do? On day 2. Day 2. Okay? So it's not going to have enough motivation or willpower to do it. You lack clarity. So noticing is having clarity. So you do not wander, and you implement when, where, and how. You make that decision, when, where, and how. So implementing something is, 1, obviously having a goal, but it's got to be clear. Clarity of what do you have to do? When are you going to do it? What part of the day? It's not just making that 6 most important things list. It's on that list. When are you going to actually do that activity? How much allotted time are you going to give you for that activity? Those need to be in place. And then I love this second thing that he put in here as a step to make sure that you have a backup plan. And this is critical because we tend to fall off things. And so it sounds really easy to make a plan, doesn't it? It sounds really easy to make a plan, but we know, right, that oftentimes we fall off. So he calls this failure. I can't really remember, but this is to keep you from failing. I really can't remember writing sometimes. Okay, but this is a quick exercise. Okay, so what I want you to do, and we just did some visualization, is I want you to think 6 months out. Imagine that you made your goal 6 months out. Think 6 months out. Guess what there is? That's our seminar year. And you just hit your goal. What does it feel like? Who is with you? All right? We love living in that vision. All right, but we're going to change it up right now. This is what he challenged you to do. This is different than what we're used to. Now, you're going to look 6 months out from now, and you're going to imagine you failed. You failed to achieve the most important goal that you set this year. You failed. But here's the deal. You need to now tell the story of why did you fail? What happened? What challenges came along the way? What took you off course? This is where you make and break it. So if you really think about it, you're going to be able to come up with things of why you got off course. We all tend to have the same habits there of why we get off course. Are you the person that maybe if somebody calls and you're working your Mary Kay business and making your booking calls, but somebody calls and says, hey, can you come on over? You're like, sure. And you go. Okay. Robin Moore's like, yeah, to me. Don't call Robin.
Don't call Robin.
Don't call Robin.
Call me for coffee because I'll be there.
Don't call. Okay, so now if you were working, people, if you were working for someone else and you're in your office working, like you clocked in and somebody said that, you say, oh, I can't, I'm at work. Can we meet after work? Yeah. So what things are taking you off course? Are you spending a lot of time on social media and scrolling? You know, in your app, you can actually go in there and see how much time you spend in each activity. You want to have an eye opener? I challenge you to do that. See where you are really spending your time. If it's not on phone calls at the top and text messages, but if you have Facebook up there and Instagram up there in the top 1 or 2, you're in trouble. That's where your time is going. Okay? So what this is to really say what happened. It could be for me at one point in my business is I didn't have enough childcare. I didn't have any help. And so I wanted this lofty goal, but I also had kids that of course I had to take care of. And so I had to get a little bit more help, and not a lot, a little bit. I got a cleaning person because I love actually cleaning, as freaky weird as that is. I love cleaning. That was a distraction for me because I would go booking, after I clean the bathroom really good with my toothbrush, then I'll book. And so I really love cleaning. Sick problem. Okay. All right. So do you see now the failure you put in there, why you failed? Is this amazing? All right. Let's go to number 2. Number 2 is wanting. One of the most overlooked drivers of habits is our physical environment. Your environment will influence your desires and not leave it just for options. When I was writing this down and taking these notes, I thought of Pamela Shaw. If you've ever heard Pamela Shaw talk about her getting up and exercise, she talks very much about the having
bookend, daily bookends.
Thank you. Bookends, like the first 2 hours of your day, consistent. The last hour of your day, consistent. Like, bam, you know exactly what we're doing. So she gets up and exercise. So she talks about her clothes being laid out on the floor where she has a floor warmer. A Okay, just saying. All right, so we're gonna work on that. Okay, and then so she has it set up so she has to exercise. It's the first thing she sees. Do you see? So there's no obstacles. Okay, so for me, I was just thinking of me, my business. Where is your day timer? My day timer is with me everywhere. Those of you that know me, I carry all my stuff with me wherever I go. I will go to lunch with people, and I'm not going to do my work, but I have my day timer sitting next to me at lunch. I have to have it. When I had my little ones and we were going to ball games, I would take my 6 most important things list. I would write it on a piece of paper. I would fold it, and I'd put it right there. I put it right there. So when the baseball game's going on and your kid's not playing, I would pull out my little paper and I'd be able to text people. How about you have to get there an hour early? Why? I have no idea. It's 110. Our kids are sweating to death. They're dehydrated, but we're at the ballpark. Okay. And they wonder why they can't play because they're exhausted after an hour. But I would drop off, be in my car, and do my business. An hour's worth of business because I had it with me. In fact, when I think of my environment and when I work the best, it's actually in my car. Because my business started in my car with kids, going all over the place, to and from work and games, and to and from. And so I lived and did everything from my car in those pockets of time. And so to this day, if I even need to think, my assistant would say, you should probably go sit in your car, because my brain literally turns on when I don't know what to do. I go sit in my car, I'm like, woo, I'm alive. Okay, so what does your environment look like is really, really important. If it's out of sight, it's out of mind. Where's your products? Are they ready to go? All those things, you guys, matter. Stage 3, the next thing is doing. Imagine that. Breaking a habit is doing something. So the first thing is honing in on the skill that you need to do and just putting in enough reps. Just putting in enough reps, enough time, repeating something over and over and over again. Just putting in the number of calls that you need to do. That's what we're going to do for our reps today. So what I want you to do is draw a line on your piece of paper. And on one end, you're going to put few. And on the other end, you're going to put many. And so you're going to draw a line. And the amount of reps that you put in will determine how much better you get at your business. Okay, so if you think about it, for me, I actually remember this with so many things in my business, but booking calls. I knew how I had a set time of how much time I was going to do booking calls. Some people do how many calls they're going to make. I did mine specifically on time. Okay, how much time? I did the same thing with repetition for lead generation. You know, the introvert who didn't want to talk to anybody, I had to make myself go out every single day to get leads. Every single day, Monday through Friday, between 11 and 1, I went to the mall. Christiana Mall. See, I still remember that. Why would you know that? That was 25 years ago. But I would go to Christiana Mall 5 days a week, 11 to 1. And I would push my daughter in a stroller, and I would walk around that mall. And I would have my scripts, and I would get my courage, and I would go every day to get leads because I had to meet new people every single day. And then what happens is it became such a habit, something that I did whatever, because Mary Kay told us a 3-foot rule. It's a 6-foot rule now, sorry. But it was a 3-foot rule back then. It was a 3-foot rule. And so basically everybody I saw, I would literally spot them and move in. And then that became such a habit. I remember my husband going, we're going out for dinner. Please don't talk to anybody. I'm like, did you see her? You got to talk to her. I mean, it just became such a habit because I did it consistently. I forced myself in the beginning, forced myself to do what I need to do. You might have to do it until it becomes, again, this is to create new habits, but you have to put in enough reps. How many guys out there actually like to exercise? Okay? Yeah, crazy. I am. And so that's how my daughters are. And even when we would go on vacation, they would be down at the hotel gym. I'm like, we got to go to Disneyland. And they're like, we got to go exercise first. I'm like, that is insane. But it is they're so programmed to exercise, they have to do it no matter where they are. That's the point that you want to get to. Okay. The next one is liking. This is really key too. Liking. We only repeat behaviors that we actually enjoy and like and that we're getting rewards from. Okay, a lot of things, including your job, you all, including everything that we do, a lot of things, the reward is pretty far out there. The reward is far out there. So a lot of times the mundane work in the very beginning of it, there's no reward. And so you quit because the reward, earning a car, getting in your red jacket, things that you were working on, 100 faces, it's a little further out there than tomorrow. Okay. And that's one of my things with exercise. Like, oh, you got to do it like for a long time. Like, I'm like, day one, there's like no change. Okay. There has to be a reward. So then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and put the reward in place. Put the reward in place. And I did this with my business too. I would make my booking calls and my reward was actually, this is so weird, but it was to have a Diet Coke. It was my reward. Some of you I might be like getting a Starbucks or whatever, but mine was to have a Diet Coke. I love my Diet Coke. And so I remember doing my booking calls and I couldn't have my Diet Coke until I finished my booking calls. Mm-hmm. What could be your reward? Now in the Atomic Habit, I love the example that he gives. I love this. This is so simple and it is amazing. You are going to get a wall calendar or you're going to print a calendar and you're going to put up the wall calendar for the month. And it is only to track your rewards. And what happens is, or track your business with a reward. And what the reward is putting an X, God bless you, putting an X on that day. If your goal is to make 15 to 30 minute booking calls a day, when you do that, you make an X. The next day, you make an X. The next day, you make an X. Your brain literally does not want to break the chain. The reward becomes making the X. And if you guys think about this, this is what we did with our kids. How many of you guys had your kids and on their little thing when they did their homework, they got a smiley face, a sticker on their calendar? This is what we do. You make that X every day that you do the behavior that you're willing to put those repetitions in. Now, this is something cool that he talks about, and I truly do love. And he says, the best way to change long-term behaviors with short-term feedback. And the other thing that he talks about that is really awesome is he says, change happens habit by habit. So gradually, you actually become someone new. Consistency and repetition can not only change your results, but it changes you. Because more evidence you have when you change a habit also changes your belief in who you are and who you're becoming. Is this so true? Things that you do only once or twice fade away. But things that you do over and over and over again, you start to believe differently about yourself. Every action you take is actually a vote for the type of person you want to become. Is that so exciting? For the type of person you want to become is in the actions that you take and the habits that you choose to change today. And I want to leave you with this. And this is, what are you really looking at? What are you really looking at? Because it really decides everything. If you go to Numbers 13 and they're getting ready to take over the promised land, they send out spies. 2 of those spies are Joshua and Caleb. The 10 spies go out. Most come back and say, we cannot do it. Those people are way too big. We are going to be defeated. Joshua and Caleb say, we can do it. No problem. But they do not go in. Both saw the same thing, but people saw it the same thing. They saw it differently. How are you looking at what you have to do? You can totally do it. We believe in you, and now it's time for you to believe in you. And so make it a great kickoff to the next 6 months. Happy January. Woo-hoo!
I'm gonna sit here because you guys are all gonna see me, but I got a beautiful audience over here too. Love you all here you're in our mask, but we're still here together. So I want to give you a little info on what we're doing next. Let's give it up. Can I get some claps for Tammy one more time? I mean, she went from, was she Hans or Franz? She went from Hans or Franz to like, she was Hans, and now look at her. She just slimmed it down quick. So next what we're going to do is we're actually going to break out. So FOMO, for all of you that aren't here, directors are going to go in their own room. They're going to go in the red room with the Tracy Chavez. So if you're not a director, you get to stay here with me, though. Hey, you get that. So all the consultants, you guys get to stay here with me. And y'all here, just get excited about what I'm about to talk about. I hope, just wait. I'm going to tell you what we're going to talk about. Oh, there we go. Here we are. All right. So sales directors, you guys can head on out. We love you. Have fun. Talk about some secret things. Just kidding. Secrets. So for those of you that are online, don't be offended that I go back and forth because I want to see some faces and I want to hear some comments. So feel free to comment throughout too. Oh, thanks, Offspring. They're commenting. Can you guys see the comments over there? Yeah. Okay. It's kind of hard to see. So first of all, you guys, I am so excited because I know that Tammy started us off, and I really do believe if you don't have all that stuff figured out, it really is hard to stay motivated in your business, right? So that's the head stuff, and the head stuff is where it starts, and the head stuff is where it really, everything starts to kick off. But I get to talk about the stuff that makes us money. Products, right? Like products, not just products, but things that Mary Kay is doing that is literally changing the game. You guys, we are so blessed, and I have to grab my notes, so hold on one second. Am I supposed to start this myself? How do I have it started? Is your timer? I mean, it's not my timer, but sure. It's not moving. Okay, well, if I go over time, Tracy will tell me. No, it's fine. Thank you, though. Okay, so how many of you guys have heard about our new retinol product? Can I get a, okay. So, trust me, my favorite thing about being a sales director is we got this 4 months ago. Yeah. So if you have FOMO like I do, become a sales director because there's no more FOMO. There's no more fear of missing out. You get everything all the time. We even have a new box arriving at my house today of new product. Ooh, love being a sales director. Okay. Literally, that's the thing everyone says, what's your favorite thing? I'm like, oh, those early products and buzz boxes, that's my favorite thing. I love being in the know. So if you're like me, just be a director. It's easier that way. So this retinol product, okay, I can talk forever on the product, but I'm going to be careful because I'm like, I only have a certain amount of time. So I'm going to talk about things that are just not product related, but also things that you can use to sell them to people and know who you're going to sell them to. So first of all, this retinol product is called a dermoceutical. No, it's not dermaceutical. It's dermacosmetics. I always say dermaceutical. And so what does dermaceutical mean? So dermaceutical is the combination of like beauty products and skincare health products similar to what you would find in a dermatologist's office. And so just so you guys are aware, this retinol 0.5 is what it's called. That's 0.05 is the actual official name. And the reason they put the percentage in there is to give you an understanding of what a potent product this is. So I'm going to go over a lot of questions you probably already have. If you think of a question while I'm talking, feel free to write it down and then I'll answer questions at the end. And that goes for you guys online too. If you guys have questions like really just wait till the end because I probably will answer your question if I'm gonna be real honest. So the thing about the dermocosmetics is that this is the highest level of retinol product you can get over the counter without having an actual prescription, right? So you cannot get any higher unless you are getting it from a dermatologist. And it also will be, the price will be a little bit different. So the one thing I did want to talk about is price. So you have the retinol 0.5 bless you, set, which comes with the retinol and the Calm and Restore facial milk. So you have the set, which is $120, and then you have the retinol by itself is $78, and the facial milk is $50. And so One of the things that I think is really important to know about this product is that this product is a additional product to skincare. So that's my biggest thing that I want to encourage people and implore you to say that if you are not taking care of your base level cleansing and moisturizing, this is probably not a great product for that customer or for that person, just so you guys are kind of aware of that. So retinol. A lot of people ask, well, what is the difference between, or what is retinol, first of all? Does anybody know what retinol is? Okay, so retinol is actually a derivative or pretty much a derivative of vitamin A. And vitamin A we produce in our body, and we also get vitamin A from our food. We get vitamin A is a great nutrients for our body, but vitamin A used topically literally helps the cell turnover and boosts collagen, which collagen is a protein in our skin, and it literally helps with cell turnover. When I say the word cell turnover, what I mean by that is that every 28 days our skin goes through a cycle and we are renewing our skin cells. As we age, that process gets slower and slower and slower because the free radicals, the environment, the things we talk about in Mary Kay, the sun, stress, all of those things start to slow down that cell turnover. Well, retinol is a physical product that will help speed that back up. So one of the things that people ask all the time, well, do I get to eventually stop? And I say, if you eventually have no stress and no sun and no exposure, sure. Right? Like, that's kind of like what Tammy talked about with the habits. Like, we're always getting exposed to these things, so we're fighting this. So if you are going to stop being exposed to the world, sure, right? Then maybe. And how that's really how retinol works in general. We do have retinol in another product though, right? We have retinol in our Time-Wise Voluform Repair Night Cream. However, this is a very different retinol for two main reasons. So the number one reason this retinol is different is our night cream retinol is a slow release. It's encapsulated. So it's an encapsulated retinol that allows for a slow release while you sleep. And what that does is it allows to have not irritancy or skin issues. So people can really start to use that product right away and use it daily. And so it is slowly releasing because it's encapsulated. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. And so that's the number one reason. The number two reason is it doesn't have as high as potency as this, right? It is because this product, I will talk about some of the side effects, quote unquote, in the process your skin goes through, can be a little bit difficult for some people. So this versus our night cream is really suitable for all skin types, right? That's something most people can use. I won't say all because some people have really sensitive skin. So, one of the ways I like to talk about the retinol is how do we do this? And you're going to hear something often in Mary Kay is the retinization process. So I'm going to go through what a retinization process is, what it can look like. And here's what I want you to know. Everyone is going to have different results. So as a consultant, my number one recommendation to you is to know that you are explaining this product well to your customers and that you are walking them through this process. This is probably not a 2+2+2 kind of follow-up. This is probably an every week kind of follow-up, in my opinion. And I also would encourage you to really encourage them. I tell people all the time, take before and after pictures, not for me, but for you. Right? Like, don't take them for me. I don't need your before and after pictures. I mean, if they're great, I'll use them, but do it for you, because I think oftentimes, okay, I'm going to say something that's kind of funny, but how many of you guys look at pictures of yourself from like 5-10 years ago and you're either like, dang, where's that body at? Or like, dang, what did I do with my hair? Like, what was that? Or what foundation color was I wearing? You know, just like you look back and you're either like, ooh, I really like that. I wish I could get back there. Or you're like, oh, I have made some majorly good changes, right? And so you can only really notice that by looking at pictures, right? And that's where most people look at pictures and they say, you know, I want to make some changes, whether going back or staying where you are and just going forward. So that's a huge thing with skincare, is you being able to see, wow, how is this 8 weeks of doing all this actually help me? Like, I don't notice the difference, right? Like, do you hear people say, like, I don't notice the difference? Well, and there's really a huge difference because we look at ourselves every day. So it's just that small difference makes doesn't make a difference for us unless we see it on picture. So the retinization process is an 8-week process. So the reason for this process is that it is retinol, if you have not used it at this high level, is definitely changing the matrix of your skin, which is a beautiful thing. And here's what I want you to know. If you think you shouldn't be using retinol, you're probably wrong. And I say that because I used to think retinol was for older people. I'm just being real. That's what I thought. Like, well, I'm young. Why do I use retinol? Well, thank goodness for Mary Kay, because I'm going to look young for the rest of my life, because I'm never going to say that again. Retinol, I mean, people are using retinol in their early 20s. I mean, if I'm going to be real honest, not calling anybody out online, there are people in their 20s getting Botox. I mean, it's happening. Like, people are doing these things all the time. And so we are just giving them a facilitation of product that they can use at home. That a lot of people, I actually did a survey on my customer page on Facebook, that if people, like, if they wanted to use Botox, and a lot of people were like, you know, I would if I had the money. Some people were like, I'm not sure. I'm a little afraid of needles, but I like the idea of like the benefits, right? And then I asked them the next day, what if I could tell you there's a product that you don't need the needles, but you can have the same kind of effects? And guess what? Everybody was like, yes, girl, please tell me, right? That's like there are not a lot of people in the world who are like, you know what? I'm just going to decide that I don't want to take care of my skin, and I don't want to age. And if I'm going to be honest, most people are more worried about the age than they are the health. I mean, that's what they're worried about, is what they look like. And I personally love to change that I'd love to change that. Like, we're all beautiful. Wrinkles are beautiful. It means we've smiled. It means we've had a good life. It means we've done things. Like, I disagree with that a little. And I know that people think I say that because I'm young, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to embrace every wrinkle I ever get, because I just feel like that's part of the process. However, I want the health of my skin to be the priority for me. And the health of my skin is that my skin can turn over quickly. And the benefit is I look better at the same time, right? When you eat good food, you're not like, oh, I'm eating all this good food because just to look better, right? There's a double benefit, right? You eat the good food, you feel better, you look better, all the things come with that, right? Like, that's a full package. And that's what I think this product does for women specifically. I will tell you, when I got this product, my husband was like, oh, I'm using this. So my husband has retinization process with me, and he says, babe, we're almost out of the retinol. I'm like, whose fault is that? I'm like, come on.
Using too much? That's what they do.
No,
Use
because
too much.
I control how much he uses. So
Yes.
I'm like, let me show you. Here you go. But honestly, but those of you that don't know, I have a little bit of an age difference with my husband, so it works out for him. He's like, I'm gonna look as young as possible if I'm gonna keep up with you. I'm like, well, there you go. So hey, but he loves Mary Kay, and that's why I'm gonna tell you. This is I would say your demographic is probably targeted female, but you'd be shocked about how many men get facial procedures. And so they may not talk about it, but it's a thing. So the 8-week process, I'm going to go through it really quickly because this is all on Mary Kay in Touch, but just so you guys know. So the first 2 weeks of the process, you are going to do it one time a week. So week 1, I'm going to just use Sunday because that's when I did it. Week 1, Sunday night. You're going to do it. You're going to mix the retinol with the facial milk, and you're going to dilute it together, one pump, 1 pea-sized pump, and even less if you have very sensitive skin, just to start off. Going to dilute it together, and you're going to put it on all over your face after you have cleansed your skin and let it dry for 5 to 10 minutes. So you're going to cleanse your face. You're going to let it dry and sit for 5 to 10 minutes. One of the reasons is because you want your natural oils of your skin to come back, and that'll help with any irritation if you tend to get irritated skin. And because retinol is going to cause some of that. This is an exfoliation process from a chemical level. That's really what it is. And so then so those are the first 2 weeks, and there's instructions. And by the way, Mary Kay, these are actually instructions coming in for your customers as well. Your customers will receive an instruction as well as you, but just remember how many of you read if you're not a Mary Kay consultant, like not me. Like, I read all this, and Carmen Felix was like, wait, Robin, you read it all? I'm like, when I'm going to learn something, you darn Skippy, I'm going to learn all of it, right? Like, I'm going to know everything about it. So weeks 3 and 4, you are still going to do it one time a week. So you're still doing Sunday, week 3, Sunday, week 4. However, now you're going to do the retinol first after you've cleansed your skin, let it dry 5 to 10 minutes, cleanse your skin, put the retinol on, and then you're going to put the facial milk on. One thing I want to tell you as well is, as you start this process, if you notice your skin starts to get flaky or irritated or redness or even a little bit more drying, you can use as much of the facial milk as you need. It's going to be like your savior. It's going to be anything that you kind of need to cover. You can just put more of this all over your face. You can do it in the morning. You do it at night. You can do it in the day. This product is a life for that purpose specifically. And then weeks 5 and 6, you are going to do 2 times a week. So now 5 and 6 is where you start to do it twice a week. So I did Sundays and Wednesdays on, and you're going to do the retinol first and then the Calm facial milk. And you can do the facial milk as needed, so that it's up to you. And then week 7 and 8 is where you start to finalize the retinization process, and you start to go from 3 to 5 times a week. So this is where you want to pay attention really closely for you and your customers, is how is your skin doing with 3 times a week? Like I started week 7 with 3 times a week to see, and I'll be honest with you, I have very sensitive skin. Like when I came into Mary Kay, I could use like 3 products at first because I just had really made my skin angry by using a hodgepodge of products forever, that I need to like take a step back and calm down. And my skin has adjusted and I can use everything. So that's just fantastic. But I still usually have a tendency to get just a little sensitive if I ever get like a facial or anything in the spa or salon, same thing. So I was a little worried. That's why I wanted to do it ahead of time, because I wanted to kind of have that perspective. I didn't see I almost wanted to use more because I was like, I don't see any peeling or anything exciting. Like I was kind of excited for a little bit of redness or something crazy happening. Like, ooh, here we come. But on week 8, I started to have like peeling around my nose and my forehead area. And it was so funny because I was talking to a friend of mine and I'm like, I think this thing you taught me is making me dry out. And she goes, girl, you're using the retinol, remember? I was like, oh my gosh, because I'm very oily. And so I started to get some peeling up here. So I started using the facial milk morning and night. But so here's what I want you to know. Don't use more if you don't feel like your skin is reacting the way you want to. Like that is not going to help, I promise you. It's not going to make it go any faster either. Like a pea-sized product, if you used twice the amount, it's not going to work any better. It may cause more irritation, but it will not work better. Mary Kay has studied that and shown that. So just so you know, don't use more. Less is more. Yes.
Did you extend beyond?
Okay. So for week 7, I did 3 times a week. Week 8, I tried the 5 times a week. My skin loves 3 times a week. I figured that out. And by the way, 3 times a week, 3 times a week. Like I'm like, oh my, can we order some? I'm like, who is breastfeeding and is pregnant? I need your product, because you can't use this if you're breastfeeding or pregnant. So I'm like, where are my directors at that need to give this to me? Because I'm running low and we can't order yet. So I'm like, please help me.
You just extended the facial
yes. Yeah. So I still use, I actually personally only use the facial milk when I use the retinol. I only increased the facial milk when I started to see the peeling.
Trying to save it.
Because I was trying to save it. Also, I will say for you guys to know, I had a little bit of like this interesting breakout, which excited me because I knew that when my skin goes through a change, it always breaks out a little first. And then it's like, I have my glowing, beautiful skin again. Like it just is kind of a process if you don't keep, and I know that happens for me. I know my skin really well though, because, well, here we are,
So I have a question. For example, I use the repair line. Do you continue using the repair line? Did you skip night cream?
So one of the
on
things
those days?
So one of the things that Mary Kay has said, and I have heard from other directors, is most people can continue their regimen of the time-wise repair. Some people have like a strong irritation. So if I were to pick one, I would test it on a small area. But then if you do notice that you can't do both, I'd try a different moisturizer for a little bit at night. I'm just saying, this retinol is worth it. And here's if you know me at all, my product of, repeating the question. You guys can't hear. So the first question that Kathy asked was,
if you extended.
If I extended using the facial milk when I peel. And yes, I used it more often. Heidi just asked, can you use time-wise repair night cream with the facial milk or with the retinol? And I said that yes, most people can. If you notice that if you get an irritation from using the repair products and the retinol, my suggestion would be take a break from the night cream and use oil-free hydrating gel, because that's my favorite product on the planet. So you can't go wrong. It doesn't have as much anti-aging benefits, but if you're struggling with having irritation with an anti-aging product and the retinol, you might as well take the anti-aging out just and use the retinol for a little while. Yes.
All right. Now, some of us are using gel masks and things like that.
Like I said, I will go over all that. When I said, I promise you, I'll hit almost all your questions. I'm going to hit all your questions because I'm going to go through all of that. So thank you, but I will go there. I repeated the question, so I hope that worked. I had 2 people ask me. Got you. Okay. And that is a super common question people ask was, can we use it together? Yes, and I'll get there. So one of the things that I really want to encourage you guys to remember that this can be a great product to a new demographic you don't have. And I would highly encourage you to encourage them to use your skincare along with it. So if they're not skincare customers, but they're super excited about retinol, I have 2 women who are super excited about this product. And I said, so here's the deal. Because this is a product that is it has high efficacy and it is a highly potent product, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, if you want to do this, I'm going to sell it to you with a mini version of one of my skincare sets. Because I really think you will get the best benefit, and it's a waste of your money to do something that's not really going to work for you. And and both of them have said, okay, I'm open to doing that. Right. So, I really think this can be a segue into new customers for our skincare as well, because I don't think people really realize what a high quality brand we are. I think some people see us, and I'm just keeping it real. Y'all know that I do that. I think some people can see us as an MLM company who's just trying to build people, and they don't understand our company. They don't understand that we make our money selling a product. They don't understand that we're a top 5 global brand. They don't understand that we have the best dermatologists and have more research and more product than any company in the world. Like, they don't get it unless you tell them, right? And so I hope y'all sell a lot more skincare because of this, because I know I already have. And so I don't even have it to give it to them, and they're sold. So I told them, you want to go ahead and get started on the skincare now so you're ready when your product comes. And they're like, oh, sure. So you know how many repair sets I've sold before even getting retinol in the door?
Another question. Are we going to be
girl,
limited on sales?
Girl, I said questions at the end. I love you.
Sorry.
But questions at the end because I only got so much time. Yeah. Okay. So the concentration, why they do it, I think I talked a little bit about that. There's a couple of things I want to talk about. Oh, I just want to clarify, nursing and pregnant, no. Okay, I love you guys, but I might miss your question. So if you ask me a question on here, I might miss it. So ask me at the end. I'm telling them too. Did you hear me? I already told them. Okay. So the sensitive skin issue. I'm trying not to roll my eyes. I have sensitive skin, so I understand having sensitive skin. I also think people use it as an excuse all the time because that's what people know that they can use. So here's what I like to do is I ask, when you say sensitive, what do you mean? So for me, if I say sensitive, my husband does not have a beard anymore because of me, kind of sensitive. Like if his beard touches my face, I will break out. Like we have dogs and I had plastic around my pillows because my skin would break out. Like I understand there are some people who have very sensitive skin, and can you only imagine what it would be like to have to redo all your skin if you've already got it figured out, right? So I always teach people, if you have sensitive skin, there's like a spot behind your ear. You can always test products if you want to actually get a product that's better and higher quality. That's how you can test it. It's right here behind your ear. And if you do have an inflammation or something, nobody's going to see you. Just don't wear a ponytail for a while. Keep your hair down for a couple of days. You're fine, right? So that is perfect. And this product, this is where the retinization process is super important if they have sensitive skin. Now, if someone comes to you and says, Robin, I've been using retinol 0.5 or 0.3 or 0.1, they probably could start a little bit quicker. They could start like every other day. They probably don't need the retinization process. And if someone says, I've been using retinol from a dermatologist and I want to try something different, they probably are already through the retinization process. So just a big thing. My number one thing I want you guys to hear, and Mary Kay will preach this, is that if you are using retinol, you have to wear an SPF during the day. There is no questions asked, mostly because your skin is literally going through this turnover process that is making it a little bit more sensitive to other areas. And sun is the thing that causes the slowdown of this turnover process, right? So SPF is super important. SPF 30 or higher is what they recommend. So make sure your customers know that. Again, and they need to cleanse their face. So right there, we've got 2, and they need to moisturize after the product. I mean, okay, there you go. There's a whole skincare set for you. All right. Let's see. Okay, so people may ask you, like, how long does the flakiness or the redness last? That I have seen a lot of different things, you guys. I've seen a lot of directors with different things. Some people my flakiness started at week 8 and didn't until week 10. So I got it a little bit later. I've had people who experience something called the retinoid uglies, which means that a lot of their brown, darker spots came really forward before they got through that process. So like it's bringing back some of that dark skin. And like, I mean, she had her dark spots really come forward pretty heavily. And then it takes a while though. It's not just the 8 weeks, right? There's a little bit of time because that's a lot of damage. It's a lot of sun damage that person had in their skin that has to slowly come out, right? So my question is to you, have any of you ever experienced someone or yourself had like an actual chemical peel or you've had a chemical peel? So have you ever left, I mean, what does your dermatologist or your person tell you when you leave after a chemical peel? Don't get in the sun. And you probably don't want to go in public because your face looks kind of awful. I mean, if you get a really deep one, it can look like scabby. Right? Your skin can look scabby. So this is a very great alternative to those things, right? So for someone like me, I love all that stuff. I never get in a chemical peel. Like I'm just so scared of my sensitive skin, right? Like, but I know the benefits of it. So someone like me, I'm like, well, this is a great product for that. So realizing that, like, I would tell you 3 that said I've gotten a chemical peel before are my favorite customer for this because you're like, a little peeling, a little redness. I got scabs all over my face when I got a chemical peel, right? Like, I mean, really, that's what it looks like. My girlfriends get it all the time. I'm like, yep. She's like, I can't come over. I got chemical peel. I'm like, ooh, yeah, stay in your house for a while.
Yeah.
Stay in there. But that's really what they tell you. They tell you not to go outside. It's not even don't put sunscreen on. You don't go outside. So this is just this is a different process. So that is a great demographic for this product. But I also think there are a lot of women who don't do those things for the fear of what that can be. And also the expense. Let's be very clear. I'm going to assume that was if someone laughs, that is not a cheap process to go through. So but it's because you care about your skin and you want to have some better things. So one thing I want to clarify. So a lot of people ask about their throat and décolleté. So this area is twice as sensitive as your face. So if you want to I encourage you to do this part because this is probably where people have some of the most biggest issues. But if you've ever had a chemical peel, they don't actually usually do your throat and décolleté because it is so sensitive. So this would be a very slow, this has to go through the retinization process. And I would even tell you slower than the retinization process in my experience. I didn't do it because I was a little nervous. Because I know this is where I'm the most sensitive. Like, look I've touched my skin for what? And you see how red my neck is? I have a very sensitive throat and décolleté area, but I also want it to look good forever, so I eventually will, but I did not during this process. I used just for my face. So if you do your throat and décolleté, just know that I've had a lot of people say, ooh, it was not great for my throat and décolleté because it's very sensitive. It's a very sensitive area. Also, it's exposed to the sun, so if you're going to do it on your throat and décolleté, you better put sunscreen on, okay? Oh, this one I just wanted to clarify. This cannot be used around your eye area, okay? Not the eyes. So one of the things that they recommend is when you do this at night, after you cleanse and let your face dry, put your eye cream on first because then you won't be doing your retinol and then using your retinol and putting your eye cream next to your face. Like you just don't want to mix the two. So eye cream first. Wait for 5 to 10 minutes and then put on your retinol. And then you can put on your moisturizer 5 to 10 minutes after the retinol. Because here's the deal. You want the retinol to really do the work on its own. You want it to be like a singular product doing its own work. So you want to make sure that 5 to 10 minutes after you've cleansed and done your eye cream, and then 5 to 10 minutes afterwards to put on any other moisturizers or your night cream before you do that. Okay. I already said that. Oh, don't use both morning and night. It doesn't make a difference. The more you use it does not make it better. That's not how that works. So do not use it twice, morning and night. I did that part. Clear Proof. This is not a product to use with Clear Proof. And I want to correct myself from the last training I did. So it's the salicylic acid and benzoyl peroxide that it does not mix well with. That is a product that they are not meant to chemically work together. However, I did find out that if you use charcoal mask, and it's washing off. And what's the other one? Hold on. Let's see. Charcoal mask and so with the I'll find it, but it's the charcoal mask that is okay to use with it. You can use charcoal mask because you're washing it off. But just, I'll be honest with you, I really stopped doing most of the things because I just wanted to see the experience. But I'm gonna tell you what not to use in just a second. So it is not recommended to use any type of our physical exfoliators. So no microdermabrasion, no exfoliating powder, no botanical invigorating scrub, and none of our facial revealing radiance facial peel during the 8 weeks retinization process. Yes, you want
Not
to
just on the day you use it, but just
during the whole 8 weeks. And then it says that once you've gone back and your skin has like adjusted, you want to use those things on the nights you aren't using the retinol. So you don't want to use them at the same night that you're using retinol, those products. Also, one of the other things, and this was awful for us because the vitamin C and E serum came out with us at the same time, like right at the same time this did. So we couldn't use the vitamin C and E serum with the retinol because it's too much vitamin C, which who would have ever thought that word would ever happen, too much vitamin C. But the vitamin C with the vitamin A is not a good mixture. So you also don't want to use that serum specifically, is the vitamin C and E serum. Okay. Let's see. So not recommended with salicylic acid, benzoyl peroxide. It's also, this is so crazy, it's also not encouraged to use the hydrogel eye patches with your retinol when you're doing the retinol, because the hydrogel eye patches can soak in the retinol and get that under your eye area. So like you could do the hydrogel eye patches in the morning or on a day you're not doing it, like during the 8 weeks, just not using them at the same time. I never thought about that, but like, yeah. So like if you're not doing retinol today, today's Tuesday, do the hydrogel eye patches. You just don't want to, you want to make sure you not get the retinol into your eye area. They also recommend not using the Skin Vigorate brush with the massage head or the cleansing brush
At all.
during this process. And here's what I will tell you. You all will know your skin better. And so for those of you that are like, girl, I had chemical peels, y'all might want to laugh at me a little, except for the exfoliation. Like Microderm, Refine, all that stuff, you do not want to use that during this process. And here's what I say. I'd rather be safe than sorry to tell my customers, hey, don't use this. And then they use it and they have caused irritation and then they're not happy about it, right? Because it's worse than, and you didn't warn them. Yeah, right. And Mary Kay says it's not okay. So, ooh, this is a big one. So if you get anything on your face waxed, you do not want to use the retinol at least 3 days prior. And let me be clear, if you guys are getting waxed and your esthetician does not ask you if you're using retinol, you got to go find another wax person. They should ask you that question always. I get that question every time. Are you using retinol products? Because you do not want to get a wax and get retinol. Okay. I did the SPF and higher. I don't know where the charcoal mask one was. Okay, so you guys can start asking some questions. I should be done right now, but go ahead and ask some questions.
So after the 8-week retinization process, how often do you use it then?
That's up to 5 times a day. 5 times a week. 5 times a week.
Okay. But you still have to be careful using those other products on the same day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, here's what it is. So like the Botanical Effects Clarifying Cleansing Gel or the Clear Proof Deep Cleansing Charcoal Mask, you can use these. They say we don't anticipate significant challenges used with the retinol.
During the 8 weeks, they don't see a problem?
No. However, if you have a leave-on acne product, that is not recommended.
So
Like
acne treatment gel.
No acne treatment gel. Pretty much all of Clear Proof is a no, except for the charcoal mask. Yeah. All right. Now, okay, let's see. When can we start talking about this product on social media? Okay. Not yet. And I know that you are all like, sure, I saw a bunch of people. I'm like, they cannot trust us with anything. That's why nobody tells anybody anything. Technically, we're not supposed to talk about this on social media until the 26th of January. Technically, y'all would not have known about this till February 1st. Mary Kay let you guys in on this secret early because they are nice and they want 2021 to be great. So literally this is just like a early, so please don't post on social media. Your private group is a little different. I haven't posted in my private group. I've been asking a lot of questions and I've gotten like 10, 15 people like, Robin, tell me the secret. I literally am getting people texting me. So I am creating some buzz, y'all. And like I posted a before and after picture of my face and I was like, can't wait to share with you. Like I am just really reeling them in. So I'm just gonna tell you, but that's my private group because that's a closed customer group. Just my customers are on there. So that's an option. What about the repair serum? You can use the lifting serum with this product. That doesn't have that's a different kind of product altogether. Okay, I think I answered most of your questions. I will tell you, the thing that saved my life, the facial milk is great, but it's not a moisturizer, right? That's not its purpose. It's a calm and restore, like a soother. I used 4 bottles of moisture renewing gel mask through this process. Now, let me also clarify. I literally could put moisture renewing gel mask all over my body.
Yes.
I love that stuff more than life itself. It goes on the back of my hand. Like my husband uses it. We were also in like Georgia at one point and I was like, whoo, this humidity is killing me. So like moisture renewing gel mask already is my jam, but I love that product because what I would do is after the retinol, I'd put that on and I'd sleep in it, right? And so I'd wake up and take off all, I'd wash it all off. So the moisture renewing gel mask, I think is one of the reasons I didn't have such a huge retinization process, but I forgot to bring my before and after pictures. I'm really sad about that. I could text my husband and have him send them to me and show you guys, because he has a better phone than I do.
So it worked during the retinization process to leave it on.
Yes, the moisture renewing gel mask. So yeah, you can always, the moisture renewing gel mask, y'all, if you don't sell that, like, first of all, always with the charcoal mask, you're doing it wrong. Second of all, to everyone, you're doing it wrong. I love that product because those are why I love those kind of products. Doesn't matter if you're dry, oily, sensitive, whatever you are, you can't go wrong with those. Those are all, and if they live here, you put 2 bottles, say, hey, take this. Like, welcome to Arizona. That's my welcome kit to everyone in Arizona. Take a oil-free hydrating gel and take a moisture renewing gel mask because your skin is going to love me.
What was that? The oil?
Oil-free hydrating gel. That's my holy grail. I joke. I'm glad my husband can't watch any of this. Like, I joke that, like, if I had to pick one person or one thing to take on an island, like, it's a close call between my very handsome, awesome husband and that oil-free hydrating gel. And I really like my husband. So that's a big thing. Okay. Someone said, can you assure, I'm going to try to do the before and after pictures. I'm going to ask him real quick.
Oh, are they asking my question?
So somebody asked, what demographic would this be best for? So here's my opinion. This is a demographic of women who care about their skin. If a girl says to me, and I ask a ton of questions, like I'll ask a question, like I just asked a customer yesterday. She likes the naturally line, but she wants anti-aging. I said, if you were to pick a priority, natural or anti-aging, what would you pick? And she's like, anti-aging. So she probably won't want the repair, but we're gonna go Miracle Set 3D with some things added into that, right? So we're gonna do some vitamin serums and things like that. So it's asking a lot of questions like, are you washing your face morning and night? And are you willing to put on SPF during the day? Like, how important is your anti-aging process to you, right? So I think it's a demographic of women who want to take care of their skin. And honestly, if people really want anti-aging results, but they're not taking care of their skin, they may be the great demographic for this. They just have to be willing to do more of the things than they're not doing. Yeah, right. Can you use retinol the same way you do a hydro session? I would definitely not, because the hydro session is all exfoliation. Like, you can't use that during the whole 8-week process. A hydro session is like the opposite of what you want to use, for sure. Yeah, honestly, most of everything I just taught you is all on In Touch. I just know how many of you are going to read it.
Thanks.
Love you. If you use retinol every day, when do we use other exfoliation process? Not at all until the 8-week process is over, and you can use it on nights you're not doing the retinol.
After the repairs.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, this says like 20 years and older is what they said for the In Touch training video for the demographic. Ever met a 19-year-old who had Botox?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, I wouldn't put an age on it. I mean, That's just me. But you have to ask a lot of questions, which in general, a good tip for business, y'all should ask a lot of questions because most people have no idea. I just want you to know that I really believe that 90% of people have no idea what kind of skin they have. Like, I sometimes think pre-profiling is a waste of time other than getting them to make sure they're here because I promise you, I almost change everybody's formula the second they sit down. I look at their face and I'm like, I can literally see the oil pouring down your face and you're telling me you're dry? Well, I'm dry around my mouth. I'm like, it's a very different conversation than being dry skin. Like, and I don't talk like that to my customers. I just want to clarify. But
In your head.
in my head, I'm like, and everyone thinks they're very unique. Oh, I have skin issues you've never heard of. I'm like, try me. Let's go. Right? Like there are not a lot of, and especially if you're in a certain weather. I know it might be different if you're starting to work virtually in different weathers. I have learned a lot about other humid weathers and snow and winter. But y'all, the people that have snow and stuff, you get to sell them like 3 times as much moisturizer.
Hydrating gel.
Yeah, hydrating gel on top of their already used moisturizer. That's like a double whammy. That, by the way, you sell that hydrating gel as an added moisturizer on top of their normal moisturizer. Just saying that. What are some questions you were asking to create buzz? So I'm asking questions like, if you could have a product that helps collagen boost cell turnover without the needle or a knife that has, I took the statistics from Mary Kay that has the efficacy of blah, blah, blah. Would you, A, girl, ain't nobody got time for that. B, why you holding out on me, girl? Tell me now. Like but that's me. Like, that's something I would say. You don't have to say it like me, because if you never talk like that, people will be like, what is wrong with you? Like, and so I'm saying a lot of that. I also have a little bit of a benefit of, I actually have pictures. So I've been using some of my pictures, and I will tell you, the people in my life are like, I don't want to be mean, but like, I know you are a skincare person, like you always have good skin, but there is something, people ask me if some other inappropriate things about glowing skin, and no, it is the retinol, y'all. It is retinol. That is all that it is. I promise you, there is nothing else happening but retinol with this glowing skin. Okay, just wanted to clarify that. That ain't happening. So, but I get people asking me all the time. And I've honestly noticed a huge difference in my husband's skin, and my husband uses Repair. So he's already using good skincare products. So yeah.
If my husband uses the men's facial wash,
Totally fine.
I was gonna say, should I get him on it?
No. Don't force him into something. The only reason my husband
It's just good he washes
The only reason my husband does Time Wise Repair is because when we came out with the Skin Side app, he's like, well, I want to try. And they say it's not for men, but he didn't have facial hair. So it worked perfectly on him. He goes, hey, I don't use any of these products. Why am I not using these products? And I was like, well, you ready to anti-age? He's like, yep. So we got him everything on the Skin Side app. So just saying. Yeah.
You have me so curious. I've got to see your man.
Oh, he's one good looking guy. I'll show you later.
Ooh,
He's
good.
6'8", handsome,
Ooh.
kind, loving, a great dad.
Ooh.
more beard.
No more beard, yeah. See, I get Botox every 3 months for migraine, so I should use. The retinol and Botox are 2 very different things, because Botox is literally going into your muscle, and that's like a whole nother thing. And so I would talk to your, hopefully your dermatologist or very educated Botox professional, very like nurse, doctor. I hope that's where you're getting your Botox from. Ask them their thought process. And if you're doing any kind of skin with a doctor, ask your dermatologist first, and tell your customers the same thing. Like, be careful about, and if you're having skin treatments, quite often you don't want to do the retinol during treatments. Even a simple facial, you may not want to do during that process, or let them know. They're gonna ask you on their form, are you using retinol though? Because they know that. So, he sent me some. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I just realized all of his are shirtless. So that's awkward. I gotta crop that.
Honey,
I know. I'm like, okay, you guys,
well, if you have your bra on.
well, I'm not shirtless. That's awkward. Okay.
Wow.
I know. Yeah.
Boy, he's got an
well, we just do it at night, so there you go. I'm really embarrassed that this is recorded right now. I can't watch this. Okay, I will show you guys these, because I can see the difference of the first one and the last one, and I actually haven't even taken one after the
What
8
about
weeks.
first one and us sitting here looking at you?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like that's it. Well, but I have a lot of makeup on today. So, and I don't usually, I'll tell you, like I have not worn makeup in a real long time just because I could put, but I put CC cream on. I'm on Zoom calls for Mary Kay all the time. People are like, wow, that makeup is so great. I'm like, I ain't wearing makeup. Like this is Mary Kay right here, you know? And I have not always had great skin. So for me, I'm all about bragging about my skin. I have zero problems with it because I really struggled for so long. So finally figuring it out. And so, yeah, this is good that I got to go with Tracy because her timer went off too. And where's she at?
Exactly.
Tracy
We're
Trevor?
just having real fun now.
Yeah. So any other questions on the first of all, please I just want you to know this. Buy some retinol for yourself.
Start with yourself.
Tons.
Absolutely.
I mean, I really am always shocked and awed. And I don't mean this bad when people are like, oh, well, I don't have that or I don't use that. I'm like, hey, what? Like, I promise you, no matter what happens in my life, I will be more than a personal use consultant for the rest of my life because of how much product I use. Like, it just will not, like, when we looked at our taxes and I was like, dang, that's personal use. Wow. Okay.
Don't feel guilty.
I know. My husband goes, don't worry, we make a lot of percentage off you buying your own product. I'm like, that is true. That is true. As a director, you make an extra 13% off your own order. So that's so fine. Yeah. You didn't know that, did you? You should look because we make a big increase in income.
That's the director question.
Yeah, sure.
Do you pay for the secret box? Or do you
So
really just-
like these ones this was a gift. We didn't, yeah. And then the Buzz Kit box, we pay like a measly amount for like, I mean, it's
It pays for
It's
itself.
like 50% cost.
oh, it's less than 50%. We get like they charge us practically for shipping and handling, and then they are like, here's 10 products. I'm like, okay.
And do you tell them you want?
So you can like subscribe to the box or not, but like
Oh, I see. Okay.
get your
So
Buzz
just send
box.
you free stuff.
And all the way, also being in Arizona and having friends in Texas is not fun because everyone got their box but me. So I'm like, mine's literally sitting at home. It just got here.
I know it feels so bad. You get it, but you still get it before most of the
I know. I know.
So what's the price point on that?
Okay.
70?
So the retinol by itself without the facial is 78. The Calm and Restore facial milk is 50. And the set is 120. I honestly thought we would run out of the Calm facial milk first, but I guess we didn't need that a whole lot.
78 and the other
And 50. So like we've only used half of it and we've used the entire bottle of retinol. Also, I'm not positive that this is the exact packaging. I think it's going to look a little different when we get it.
And we can order it February 10th?
Like just like normal with new products, you know, when you get new products, if you were a star or PCP, it's like the 10th and the 15th. Okay.
Well, I got word that we could order it like on the 26th,
That's when directors get to order it.
and I was told that we get that for some reason. I don't know.
No,
Yeah.
That's when the announcement comes out. That's when we're allowed to talk
Oh,
about it.
Okay. So
Unless they surprise us.
who's next? Oh, you know what? I've got to wait. Well, I guess wait, what am I supposed to be done? No more questions? We got no more questions? Oh, hi, Tanya. Thanks, Tanya. Oh, they're all so nice. Thanks for taking your time to learn the product and share with us. That's my offspring. Thank you. Love you.
Look at her. Thank you.
Tanya Tylecki, I have to text you. I just thought of it right now. Can you tell me how much? Yeah. Well, so like can you guys see that? Like there, you can see that there's half of it is empty. If I put the light up, you can tell even more. See?
Just put your finger on the bottle where it's at.
Right there. See that? You can see. Good lighting over here.
I love your polish. Is that the Easy Streets or
Oh,
is that polish?
Girl, no, I'm extra. I get my nails done every 2 weeks. Anyways.
I just did mine.
Oh, you did the
Like
other
just
one?
now.
Okay.
Are those Easy Streets or?
Let's see.
I can
Oh,
ask-
yay! Jen Corwin is here. You guys. Okay. All the directors are back. You guys, this is exciting.
Robin, can I ask you a oily question?
Yeah.
Because I just moved here from the north.
Ooh, yes, girl.
And I'm very oily.
Okay.
So do you use the oil-free hydrating gel and the gel mask? Like, do you use the oil-free hydrating gel every day?
I do, but I don't use, if I use the moisture renewing gel mask at night, I don't use the oil-free hydrating gel at night.
I never use the moisture renewing very often.
Girl.
So I'm gonna need it probably.
You're going to need it
The way
here.
you're talking, like, I think I'm
And
gonna need it.
I don't care where you live. You should have moisture renewing gel mask like it's your job. Like that is my favorite product. Okay. So you guys, this is so exciting. Did you guys have fun, directors? Give us some FOMO. How fun was that?
Give them FOMO.
Give them FOMO. secret meetings when you're a director, BuzzBox, product early, like what more percentage on your products that you buy yourself. Tracy and I talked about how much we use personal use. It's a little embarrassing, so we're not going to
I'm
use.
not embarrassed.
She's
I'm
like,
like, girl, I'm not proud.
So tell everybody yours, because I can't remember mine.
3,900 wholesale.
For
last year.
herself, yeah.
So 8,000
Retail for herself. I love that.
Please tell me I look like.
Yeah. Well, and like I was telling them,
more than $8,000.
yeah.
Honey.
Well, and for our house, it's like not just, it's obviously probably not just her. It's her
Exactly.
husband. It's every,
It's all
there's
good,
only Mary Kay in the bathroom. Like for my guests, they get all the Mary Kay. People just like, can I say that I just use your Mary Kay product? I'm like, no, you can buy some though. So you guys, real quick, we're ready to get started for our next speaker. And here's what I want you to know. I feel like in this Caddyshack, we are already blessed to have like some of the greatest like leaders who have been around for a long time, who have really know their stuff, who have just really poured into us. And I'm so grateful for that. And we also have some really young, really successful people that have come into the studio too, that are making a difference in this community. So I love that we have such diversity. And your next speaker, I just want you guys to know, most people don't know this about her. She literally had a successful business on social media before Mary Kay, a very successful business. She's a Instagram, social media, TikTok guru. She's a mom of 3 girls. She does everything. She's literally one of the coolest people I've ever met. And you guys get to learn from her about how to build an Instagram business. And for those of you that are like, Instagram, here's what I'm gonna tell you. You're gonna talk about Facebook too? Oh, she's so nice. She would not, she's doing that for y'all, by the way. But I will tell you, she won't say this because she's too nice. If you don't have an Instagram, at least get on Instagram. Because Instagram, you know, I've got a 19-year-old, and you know what she says to me? Well, I'm not on Facebook. Only old people are on Facebook. And you know what I want to say though, really quick, that about the psychology of what Tracy or what Tammy talked about the chain link. If you don't have teenagers or you're not aware of a thing called Snapchat, Tracy and I were just talking about our teenagers. Literally, my teenager has Snapchatted someone for over, what is it now? 3.5 years. They have Snapchatted every day and they don't want to break the chain. It's literally a thing. It's called a streak. You don't want to break the streak. So guess what? As much as people talk about this generation, we got to teach about atomic habits and how not to break the streak when it comes to Mary Kay. That's what I'm going to tell them. I'm like, don't break the streak, right? So that's a real thing. And, you know, companies are using that to keep people engaged and keep them connected to their technology. So we can do that same thing. So I love that idea of like that atomic. So without any further ado, I want to give it up for the one, the only sales director, Jen Corwin. Woo!
Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is kind of new for me. Looking here, looking there.
know,
So
you-
bear with me. I'm gonna need your help.
I know,
about
I got you.
halfway through.
I know, but I'm going to do it now so that I'm not,
Okay.
you just keep going.
Okay. So yes, I'm a mom of 3. I am native Tucsonan, and I actually went to U of A to be a high school history teacher, which only lasted for 2 years. So 6 months into having my first daughter, I got a little antsy and needed to do more than just be with her. So that's what spurred on my first small business, and it was a creative business that that was birthed through Etsy and grew through Instagram to almost 5,000 followers. And a long story short, I needed to do something else, take a break from that. I have 3 girls under the age of 7 and a lot of time at the sewing machine and on social media that I craved community in person. And so here I am in Mary Kay, 3 years in, top 2% of the company, and still a work at home mom, being able to be available for my kids. So I do have social media background in both Mary Kay and my creative business. And so that's kind of where this arrives from. In no way or fashion am I a pro at graphic design, at social media marketing, at any of that. This is just from my experience and what I have learned. And just like anything new, it takes time to understand how to use things, how to interact with them, and in this case, how to use these outlets for your personal business, okay? Now, here's my disclaimer. Mary Kay in Touch has a whole guidelines of how to use social media with Mary Kay. You need to be knowledgeable of that before you even step foot into Facebook or Mary Kay using your business. There's a lot of guidelines for the safety of corporate and you, okay? So there's a lot of different regulations with that. I am not diving into that. That is your own research that you need to do. So moving forward, social media can be super, you can be really antsy about it, like scared, not know where to start, unfamiliar with it. But again, just like any tool in your toolbox, you're gonna have to learn it. Okay, this is just a random example. It was not in my notes, but yesterday I had this urge. I do not have an urge to clean like Tammy, let me tell you that. My house will definitely tell you that. However, I had this spontaneous urge to deep clean my dishwasher. We need a new one bad, and so I needed to do it. And I'm like, okay, husband, I need you to help me with these tools because I don't know how to use tools. I know how to use a hammer and I know how to use a screwdriver. What do I need for this? He's like, you need a socket wrench. I'm like, okay, I'll go get the long skinny thing you told me to do. So I'm in there and I don't have the wrench part. I only had the socket. I'm like trying to twist. He's like, honey, it takes a long time to learn how to use tools. And I'm like, I know, but I don't want to have to rely on you on this. I need to learn it myself. So that is the same thing with social media. It's a tool. It's not an end all be all for your business. Let me just make that clear. The time that we are in right now, you need to have all the tools in your toolbox because you never know what's going to happen. 2020 was bizarre. Who knows what 2021 is going to be? So let's make sure you're equipped and ready. Okay? All right. So, direct sales in general, there's a ton of companies out there. Mary Kay, you need to remember how different Mary Kay is compared to other direct sale companies. So a lot of people are approached very viciously and very intensely. You might be a victim of that, okay? We want to make sure that we show Mary Kay how Mary Kay is, okay? We need to make sure that Mary Kay enthusiasm, positivity, golden rule is evident in every circumstance of our business, and especially social media. So let me start off by really saying you want to continue building relationships. You really want to continue building relationships. It's just in a different avenue. It's in a different way. It's through direct message. It's through Facebook Messenger. It's through commenting on other people's posts, giving that encouragement. I will always take this to heart. I love what Joanne said. She is always in conversation with someone. Always. Look at where she is now. I am just in awe of you. 1 month into her directorship and earning a free car. And you know what? I don't know the information behind it, but she is always talking to someone and always developing a relationship on whatever level. And so I don't know about you, but for me, I was all Mary Kay brain when I first started and when I had this motivation to become director. That was all I wanted to do. And I probably scared off some people. You know, I had to learn to balance it out and be like, okay, you're an actual person and you love something other than skincare. Like, you know, so talking about building that relationship. Okay. Now, social media can also be considered cold leads. Are you guys aware of what warm leads are and what cold leads are? Okay. Warm leads, you've already developed a relationship. You've already started a conversation. Warm chatting somebody in person, you're already kind of getting to know them a little bit. Versus cold leads, you have not talked to this person in 15 years and you're like so antsy to recruit. Okay, you want to create them into a warm lead. Okay, that is where the relationship and conversation comes in. Again, you don't want to take them by storm. You want to incorporate Mary Kay with them by showing them that go-getter spirit, showing them, remember, everybody walks around with a sign that says, I have my notes, I'm sitting there, make me feel bored. You guys are awesome. So make them feel important. This is just in the virtual world. And it looks like posts and comments. It could be just encouraging them, could be some likes. I mean, these are all social media lingo. So if you're not aware, get into it and you'll definitely learn. But liking a post, definitely encouraging someone, sharing, you know, just all of that. That is just how you can help them, make them feel important. All right. So with that background, okay, we're going to move into Facebook. Now, Facebook was something I was a little bit more familiar with when it came to having parties. So there's a ton of different direct sale companies out there that have a lot of Facebook parties, and I wanted to know how to incorporate or how to do Mary Kay. I'm not talking about parties today. I'm talking about leads and lead generation. So if you have not connected and built warm leads with everyone who you're friends with on Facebook yet, that is like your phone book at your disposal. Okay. So, you have to have the discretion to take a hint if they're not interested in talking to you. Okay. That just like somebody texting you and calling you. But that right there is the step one on Facebook, getting leads, is developing your cold leads on your friends list into warm leads. Okay. And you can do that by having conversation. You can, oh, I'm so stressed this past year. I lost my job. I don't have enough money for this, yada, da, 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 da. And be like, okay, well, I do know that you love this product. I would love to show you how you can earn this at a discount if you're interested, just to help you save some money. Hosting a party or, leading the conversation in a direction that you want to go. Facebook is also an awesome part to network other business owners. I came from being a small creative business. I created my business from the ground up, making dolls, sewing dolls, and it blasted off. I kind of was in this very competitive atmosphere. Mary Kay is very good at having community over competition. We're very good at that. Everyone here in this room, we're fighting for this same business, but it doesn't look like that. And so making sure you want to show other business owners that you network with that same love, because they're not used to that. It's completely different for them. No matter what other company they're in, that's just another way to show them Mary Kay, okay? That unique community. So network with other business owners. Do you have a nail lady business owner? Do you have a hair girl? Do you have, your nutrition girl, your workout girl, all these different businesses? There's a ton of direct sale companies out there. Are you networking with them? I've created customers by swapping hostess parties. I've done networks with actually joining a group of vendors specifically and swapping information. There are groups up the wazoo on Facebook, okay? Be cautious. And always put Mary Kay guidelines before, because if they're already being serviced by another customer or another consultant, you do not take their business. That is always first and foremost, okay? So you have to ask questions and be good question. Ask good questions. All right, so business women groups, common interest groups. I love to crochet. I can go out and find a crochet group and make friends on there, and there you go. There's some other leads.
I'm in a tall girls Facebook group.
Really?
Yep. Tall girls only.
I don't make that list.
I know. Yes, you do. I think it's 5'10" and above.
Oh, okay. I'm 5'10".
I'm just saying. I find customers from that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
You never know what you have in common, people.
Yeah. So finding groups that you have in common with other people, these are all lead options. Last year, I personally went and searched for multi-vendor group events. This is what I specifically did. So I went and I found this vendor planning group, and every week you call dibs for your one company and do a whole virtual party on a separate group. Okay, so I was the only Mary Kay consultant in that party group, but there was like Norwex and all these other direct sale companies. I gained recruits from that. I recruited other small business owners, direct sale companies. I got a lot of other customers. That was just my outlet to work my business. So that is one way that you can definitely get leads by doing that and solidifying what your parties want to look like. Another thing that I do as a director, if you have a large team, create your own party group for your team. have all of your consultants join that group and then have your consultants add guests to it and just have that a constant party group. I did that every week for them because your team is also still learning this, if not hasn't even touched it yet. Okay, so that's another option. I'm gonna, before I get to Instagram, I'm gonna just side note into Nextdoor. The Nextdoor app is also an opportunity to get to know your neighbors and surrounding neighborhoods. I'm not giving you any specific scripts for that, but obviously get to know your neighbors. I mean,
Never heard of that. I'm sorry. Is it
Nextdoor, the Nextdoor app or Nextdoor.com. Mm-hmm.
It's like Facebook, but just for your neighborhood. Pretty much.
I mean, it's handy too for like things that are going on in your neighborhood and updates and stuff. So
It's neighborhood specific.
it's a neighborhood specific. And then also surrounding zip codes. So, all right. So going into my slide. Thanks. I'm technical difficult when it comes to this part. Yeah, extra.
Oh, wow.
Hold on.
Is it on that TV too?
Yes.
Okay.
There, everyone's gonna see it.
Okay, good.
Oh, how cute. Is that your family?
Oh yeah, they're right there. The whole family. Let's see. Sorry. I don't know why it's not coming. Oh, there it is. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do.
Oh, and then you can see me too.
Yeah, but I'm gonna put you. You're not gonna be able to see anybody for a second, okay?
Oh, that's fine.
So I'm gonna put this in present mode.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. And I just use the arrow.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Okay, talking about Instagram. Briefly, the difference between Facebook and Instagram, I would personally say Instagram is very much more aesthetically pleasing. It's a more creative outlet to express yourself through images and pictures and everything. Facebook is, I would say, is more casual. Like, hey, what's up, everyone? You know, this is what I'm doing today. Instagram is a little bit more formal and a little bit more representative and an aesthetically pleasing platform. For me, I'm very visual. So I love this so much. Side note, I wanted to be a graphic designer before I chose teaching. And then I couldn't pass my art class, 101. So, so that didn't go that way. So I've always loved art. I've always loved the creative aspect of all things digital. I'm a very happy and grateful borrower when it comes to things. So your Instagram page represents your style, life, and business. And same goes for everyone else. And it's important to acknowledge that because everyone else's pages that you look at, they do take time to present something aesthetically pleasing. Okay, so that is another way to commenting on other people's pages and just making your presence known. I do recommend if Instagram is something you want to build, create your own page with at least 6 posts. Get yours going. I know from a personal standpoint, if somebody follows me and likes me and they don't have anything on their page, to me that means they're only there for one time and they're not here to stay.
Do you mean 6 posts a day or 6
No,
posts
just
in general?
on your page.
Oh, okay.
And the typical guidelines, Facebook, you can post all day long if you want. Instagram is a little bit more sparse when it comes to your posts. Minimum or maximum 1 general post a day. However, there's the stories. So you guys know on Facebook and Instagram, there's the stories. Post all day long in your stories. You want to be popping up on people's pages. Okay, stories only last for 24 hours and then they're gone. So that's really good to do like fun little quizzes, get to know each other type things on the stories. Posts on Instagram are more monumental, something a little bit more significant and something you've thought on a little bit longer. Okay. Quick tidbit. If you're having a good hair day, take all the pictures of yourself with your products in the world, okay? Take like 20 at a time and then save them. You don't want to post all of them in one day. Save them and use them sporadically. So when you're in your scrubs and you're like, oh shoot, I need a post, go back and find a picture you haven't used yet and post it, okay? It's not a here and now post, if that makes sense. All right, so it is super important to get your influence from other top Mary Kay directors. Okay. In every form or fashion of your business. So on Instagram, these are really my top ladies that I follow and I really observe very intently. And I'm a happy borrower on some of the things that they do in their business. So Crystal Torjanowski, Kristen Sharp, Megan Wilkes, Megan McDonald. Those are just a few. You can use hashtag MKLife on Instagram and find everyone that uses that hashtag.
Hashtag
My MK Life. Thank you. Hashtag my MK Life. Okay.
Can I make a comment about this?
Sure.
Because you said copy, and I want to clarify, not their stuff, but
Right.
replicating it for you. So,
Right.
Okay.
So replicating it to fit your.
Like a picture of you with the product, not Crystal with the product.
Exactly.
Okay. Just say that one more time for the people in the back.
Yes. Okay. So you're not taking and copying what they've said and what they've taken a picture of. Use that as inspiration for your own business on your own page.
Yes.
Got it? All right. Okay. Where was I? Okay, let me also mention Mary Kay in Touch has gorgeous pictures already done for you. I've spent hours and hours and hours of my life making and creating my own pictures for my own products when I was a shop that I was this close to purchasing a camera, and then I realized I'm not a photographer, I'm quitting this job. Like, Mary Kay has resources at your fingertips. Use them. Utilize them. Okay?
Digital zone, right?
So, yes, digital zone. All right. Another thing, let me see where this is taking me. Okay, I'm going to go back real quick. I'll just go there. Okay. Sorry, my notes are not matching my slides. This is an example of my page on Instagram. So I'm always recreating it. I'm always adjusting it to just the different lingo. But Instagram is very personal. It's not all business. I've incorporated both of them because I want people to know who I am outside of business. If it's all Mary Kay, I probably wouldn't be getting as much as a feed as I want. Okay. So I don't use Linktree anymore. I use Milkshake. That's a whole nother thing, but that's just another combination of websites that you can put in one spot for them to go find you. Real quick, what Instagram is, the circle or where my profile picture is, you click on that and that's stories. So you can create your stories. That's where your stories pop up, and that's where you can put countless information on there. And then the home screen is the one on the left. That's my friend's baby. I just screenshotted wherever I was at. And that up there, the circles are where the stories are posted of other people that you're following. Okay, so when you are constantly posting stories, you're going to be on the top too of their stuff. Okay, that's just how you get out there. Okay, another way to bring in a larger audience, the concept of hashtags. Hashtags are just another way to be on somebody else's feed when they search for a different topic. If they're looking for skincare in the search bar, then you could be something that pops up. Here are a few hashtags that are kind of more recent that are working right now for me. Hashtag beauty finds, hashtag beauty hacks, hashtag wake up and makeup, hashtag makeup addict. You can do beauty addict, hashtag cruelty free, hashtag MOTD, which stands for makeup of the day. These are not limited to just these. These are ones that you could just get started on. And again, look on these top influencers pages and borrow the hashtags that they're also using, of course, relating to your post. Okay. All right, here we go. This is where the leads begin ultimately. Everyone who follows you on any social media outlet are your leads. They're following you, so you already have a base with them. To increase your following, on Instagram, there's more ways to do it, but what I've been utilizing is what it's called loops. Loops and follow for follows. They're basically the same thing. The whole concept is the one on the right. So it says sign up for a growth event. So you're growing your page, you're growing your following. You basically go to that original sign up post and you do what it says. Most times it's liking that page, saving that page where that little ribbon is, and following everyone that blue pink follow loop is following. That is just some of them. This is not all of them. So the whole idea is whoever you follow, they're going to follow you back in return.
That's the loop.
Follow for follow. That's
right.
That's the idea. A loop is when it says, now go to this next page and do all the same thing again until you come back to page 1. It makes a loop. Okay. So let me tell you. I know.
This is where I get goofed up.
I know. And it's all about practice. And you want to get in the app and actually try it yourself. You know, if you mess up, you mess up. You'll never talk to these people again, probably. It's just like you can start over again.
Also finding your own niche. Like,
right.
If I was over 50, I'd be killing the hashtag beauty over 50 or 50 over beauty. You know, like
yes.
That's a demographic that spends money that we don't hit very often. You know, like there are some things that you can niche. Like I do tall girl beauty. Guess what? Tall girls, we are different than y'all. So we need beauty different.
So now they can become directors and you won't be the tallest person on stage anymore.
They're not as tall as me.
Okay. So the idea is to have new followers, and those followers who are following you back are your leads. Just kind of get that. Let's just start there.
Now that's
Let's just start there. Because as soon as you start following the list that you need to follow, they're going to follow you back if they do it right. Okay. And then those are the people you want to connect with personally. And that's through a DM, a direct message. And let me show you on the last page. Oops. I don't have the arrow for direct message. Okay. Well, it's on there.
For one more. There you go.
Okay, so now loop accounts to follow first. Is that my time?
Yeah.
Oh dear. These are the accounts to follow to help you get started on these loops and to help you start adding people. But honestly, if you connect with somebody and they're like, oh my gosh, I love your page. I'm so interested in that. You know, that is ultimately what your goal is. But to start these loops, these are the loop accounts that you can follow, especially not limited to. Hashtag follow for follows. Hashtag let's connect. Hashtag let's grow. Hashtag women supporting women. All these different lingos are good hashtags to look up different following groups. All right, and like I just said, follow instructions on the loops for signups. You follow for follow. Say hello to your new followers through a direct message. Build the camaraderie. Comment on your followers' posts. Like their posts. Get to know them. And keep posting on your own page so your followers can see who you are, and then posting in your stories. Okay, and then I have one more. So now what? So I personally have been utilizing the 5-minute fave. I have created my own YouTube video of 5-minute fave for them to watch. So I give them a YouTube link of me doing the 5-minute fave of my 5 favorite products, just demonstrating the products. I have YouTubed it, a link. You could do that. You can send them a pampering package. You can have a virtual session with them. Whatever your goal is, treat them like a regular lead. Okay? Yes.
Can I ask what's your pampering pack?
What mine is?
Yeah.
Really depends on their preference. I always go for the skincare. So obviously if they're over 30 or 35, I give them a repair. Do I need to stop?
No, you're good. Sorry. I was trying to, yeah.
I always have the repair sampler, but I always make the thing with pampering packs, you always want to schedule them first.
Okay.
Get them booked.
And if you guys want to learn about the 5-minute faves, just wait. for 2 minutes because you're gonna learn all about that.
I also have a link to mine.
Okay.
Okay. So here's what I send I'm almost done. So here's what I send my followers. Hey there, thanks for the follow. My name is Jennifer. I'm a wife, girl mama, entrepreneur, and coffee lover. I hope you enjoy my page and I look forward to getting to know you. I am giving away whatever. This is just an example. $50 gift card to one of my lucky Instagram followers this month, US only, because you are probably going to have a ton of international followers. You cannot service them. You want to maintain it US. I want to make sure you don't miss out. Would you like the info? And I stop. I give them the opportunity to see if they are interested. If not, I move right along. If they are, then I say, great, it takes 5 minutes, watch this video of my favorite things, then fill out this form, which is your entry, and I have a Google form set up for it. I'll announce a winner on February 5th, and everyone over 18 is eligible, so feel free to pass it along. On my form, I make sure they're not already being helped by another consultant. I do all of my pre-profiling on my form, okay? And then that's it. And I should just
Can you go back one slide?
do that, like on a whole
She
nother
can
training.
also send you this slide, I'm sure. We can send it out to the people that were registered. Can I do that?
Sure.
Perfect.
You have the link. So.
Okay, yeah.
All right. That is all I have.
Woo woo! Yay, Jen Corwin! Give it up for Jen Corwin. Let's see. All right, now we have the brand new senior sales director. Woo! In the house to tell us all about the 5-minute faves is the Trish Pacheco. Woo!
Hello online. Okay, so let me get set up here. And while I'm getting set up, I'm going to be talking about some products and some things, and they are on a Dropbox. So if you want to take one of these pages and then just pass it on. There's a scan. There's a scan for you that you can just scan that right now, and then you'll get everything I'm talking about. Here.
Oh,
yeah. Yes.
She's so techy.
Okay, so get those out, and then you can scan it. And I'm
an all tech training. We all train on different things.
Yes.
I think that'd be perfect.
Do a tech workshop.
Yeah.
okay. So you can pull that up, and then I'm going to be talking about some scripts, and just like Jen was saying, you go out there, and there's so many things in so many different places, right? So when you can actually Google it now and you'll see all kinds of stuff. So what I did is there's a little bit there from just a couple links that we've gotten that Tracy gave me and that we got from the $1 Million Messenger. That's where I first heard about it. So this is called the, like she was just saying, the 5-minute faves, 5 and 5, whatever you want to call it. So first, before we get into that, you guys have that little paper I gave you? Flip over your paper. Who's got like little smiley faces on the back?
Oh, dang.
You get a
I'm
prize.
gonna draw. Oh. Look at
Oh.
No, I can make one now.
No.
Yeah, I think they're red. Let's see.
No, I don't have it. It was just the whole thing.
Right
Still in
here.
there? Okay. Well, we'll
Do a random.
We'll do a random drawing. Yeah. So we'll do a random drawing. Okay. So sorry for those that are online. That was just something fun. So that way you know everybody had one.
I know they want the QR code on there, but I don't have it. Do you have it so I can share it?
Oh, well here.
Show it to them.
Yeah, just show it.
And they can scan it on
Okay.
the computer. Yeah, higher.
How that works?
Right there.
Oh, wow.
So you guys can scan this now.
Have a screenshot.
Yeah, screenshot it.
Sorry, my hands are not very stable. Hopefully that's working. Can
You
you?
know what I can do too is I can probably tag the link in the comments. I just thought about that. The Dropbox link. Do you have
Okay.
the Dropbox link?
Yeah.
Send it. Will you? Yeah, it's fine. I'll send it. I'll put it in the comments.
Okay.
Well, if you just click on it, it'll take you
Yeah,
there.
that's well,
and then-
yeah, but it won't give you the link.
Oh, you won't
It
get
just
the
takes
link?
you straight to Dropbox.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Okay. All right. So that's 5 minutes, 5 products. And I'm telling you this from experience. I'm going to put this down a little because
Yeah,
I'm kind
yeah.
of short. Okay. From experience. So when this concept came out, I heard it on the $1 Million Messenger, and I'm not like, you know how they talk about your strengths and Activator. I didn't think Activator was like in my top whatever strengths, but it actually is. I think it was like number 7 or 8 as Activator, but I took that and I activated. Like they're talking about today with what you're going to learn today, activate on it and do it. Because if you just take in, it's like the cliff syndrome, I call it. The cliff syndrome. You take in, and you remember that game where you have like quarters and you drop a quarter and then more quarters might fall off the edge. Your brain is like that. Like something's going to fall off the edge. If you don't activate on it, you're going to lose something. And so activate and then keep what works, push away what doesn't. And so I activated on this and I just right away did it. And so the first one I'm going to talk about is the scripts. And so what did I do for scripts? I took exactly the scripts that were in the $1 Million Messenger. Now there's 2 sets of scripts that are there. And I just took another girl's script. So you guys just pick what's good for you. But what I did, and I put in there Trish's 5 and 5 scripts, because this is what I took for the $1 Million Messenger. I just went in, and for anybody who hasn't actually heard of what this is, just an overall of what it is you take 5 products and you share it within 5 minutes, and then you collect their sales, or whatever the end of that is. You share the marketing opportunity, and then you move on to the next one. So what I did is I put my script and I said, okay, I'm going to do this. And it says, hi, Leanne, I am in a holiday contest to show 5 of my favorite MK things in 5 minutes over video chat to 30 of my customers by November 25th. I will be timing it. What day this week can you spare 5 minutes to help a girl out? And this is the exact script that I took. Like I literally copy and pasted it from my project broadcast. That's the scripting I use. And she said, hey, how about this Friday? Just like that. And you guys, that script went to all my customers first. Like I hit my customer base first. And I just, cause that's practice. They know me. I got probably like about 20 replies like that. Like, yes, I want to do it right away. And I was just blown away. So what that told me is that 5 minutes, like people have 5 minutes. They'll have 5 minutes to give you. And just reflecting back on in-person appointments that I have done, I'm a talker. And some of my appointments were like 3 hours long. and I always try and get out of there like an hour and a half. Like I'm telling myself, Trish, just zip it.
Yeah.
Like just get to the point. Well, this virtual stuff, when they say, bad comes from good, this good has like really encouraged me and taught me how to zip it. How to like just get to the point. And the ironic thing is, I'm the type of person, my personality is just tell me the bottom line. Like we call it in the military, they call it bluff, bottom line up front, right? Give me the bluff, right? Just tell me that my husband loves to like, just tell me the whole story. And I'm just like, can you just get to the end? Like turn the page, go to the end, just tell me the end. And that's how I am. And my daughter the same way. I'm like, Angelina, like, she's like, I had this dream, Mom. I'm like, just get to the end. So the 5 minute thing has taught me how to just get to the point. And, that people want that now, especially now, and let me tell you, even if you're in person with them, if you are doing in-person stuff, making it quicker is going to show them that they can too have 5 minutes, or they can too have an hour's worth of time to do what you're doing. So the longer I drug it out and brought more time into their space, they're like, I don't have time for that. Like, I don't have time to do that, what she's doing. That took 3 hours. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm not going to do that.
True. So
this has taught me how much people want less, right? They want more with less. And so we can give them more with less. And so that's what this does. So Friday works great. I worked this Friday, but, blah, blah, blah. I said, that's great. I'll send you a reminder. We can use my Zoom link. So you guys can use Zoom. You could use Messenger video.
You could do whatever. But what I did, and I don't know if it was in here, but what I also did is as soon as I booked them, I would ask them, okay, do you want to invite anybody else to come with you? Like not all my scripts were like that, but I would say, hey, it's 5 minutes and it's just as easy for you to invite a bunch of people on there. So that's your opportunity to upgrade to a party. So I just individually would meet with them. And if I don't do it beforehand, then I would do it during, right? Okay, so then I get them, I get the time and I go online, right? And then we go into, let's see. Okay, so my script just goes all the way through to the end of it too. The second page of scripts is another girl's page where another girl's scripts where she said, hey, do you have 5 minutes to jump on a Facebook video today at 6, 8, or 9? I'm trying to do 5 fab products. So it's just another angle, right? So just pick what angle works for you. And then you get into the routine, and I'm just going to go off the Fab 5 outline that's in that Dropbox. And it's a Fab 5, and because I pretty much did the same exact thing, and I didn't really have an outline all typed up and everything, and she already did. So I'm like, I'm just going to take it. So it's pretty close. Is there questions?
Nope, you're good. Keep going.
Okay.
You're good. Keep going. It's hard to kind of focus on both, so that's why I look. You're good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, so when I first get on with them, I just do kind of like a little introduction, and this Fab 5 outline goes like it's a party. A lot of the ones I did were individuals, and then I encouraged a party later, right? So I already knew them, but here ahead of time. So when Leanne would book with me, I know Leanne. She's my customer. I know what she's on, and I know what she's not on. And so I would go into my database and just see what she's used, how long it's been, what she's, this is an opportunity to go back and love on your customers. Like we were just saying like earlier about retention and having your customers and retaining them more. You work so hard to get them, work harder to keep them, right? And so every single one, I think I ended up having like 18 appointments within a week. Like literally a week, just knocked it all out. It was craziness. And I would go in and I would say, okay, I know that she loves products that are more moisturizing, and I would look at what she's not on, and I would share with her all the other products that we have that are moisturizing products. So she, in the end, when I would go, when I would finish, I ended up sending pink packs tailored to their likes and their needs outside of whatever they bought. Like they would buy a bunch of things too, but I'd say, okay, I'm going to send you some samples of blah, 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 and all this and this and this, because if they wanted to meet, I would meet with them and do additional, consultation. But, so then I would tailor it, but I would start my first 5 with some of the most popular ones, like, that I knew that they weren't on. And then I kind of started realizing one of the girls would say, hey, I want something just all eyes. And I was like, oh, like she started tailoring my 5. Like instead of my favorite 5, it was like what she wanted. So, and I was like, well, that's fantastic. So, and it just kind of built from there. So when you put it out, it will build it and it will come. Right. And it did.
I love that you started with your customers.
Yeah.
That was really smart.
And it was almost like a beta test, right? You're like, okay, I'm going to put this out there, see how it works. And so I did that. And for me at home, I have this little setup. And if you've ever seen me recently online, it's kind of like a setup here. I have, stacked up stuff, and I have their 5 products next to me, showing it, or you just have it next to you and you can have the 5 products. And then I had my phone up and I said, okay, I would do the introduction and I would say, hey, it was good to see you. And I would chit chat with them. How's the family? How's things going? And, this is only going to take 5 minutes. But you guys, warming up, building that relationship. These people, sometimes I haven't talked to them and see them physically in so long.
Right.
And so for me, I'm an extrovert. So that was really good for me. I like seeing you, like better than a phone call. Like I cannot stand to talk on the phone. You do a video, I'll be like here all day. Hey, what's up? I'd be like talking. So we chit chatted. I have a pen and paper on all my customers. And then I open up InTouch and their notes on InTouch. You can add a note on InTouch. And every time I'm at my desk and I can do that, I will open up InTouch. I'll create a note, and whatever they're talking about, I type it in, like what their family's doing, what their kids are doing, you know, what's going on in their lives, things like that. Because then I can go back and say, hey, remember last time, you know, this was going on. How's that going? How's your son? How's, you know, whatever, you know, your mom. And so I would, and then say, okay, I'm going to start ready, and I'm going to tell you 5 products, and you kick in if you want. I have 5 minutes to explain everything. But if you want to ask questions, that's fine. Feel free to interrupt me if you want. But I'm going to go through the products in five minutes, but feel free to open up that question bank if you want, right? And so then I would say, ready, set, go. And I would hit it, right? And I would say, I would show them it's the timer. I'm like, here we go. You ready? Like it's a start. And then bam, and it's fun, you know? And then you would say, okay. And then I would go on to, ahead of time, you can do 2 things. You could go on to InTouch, and you could get your, the product fact sheets for every item that you're going to do. And you could either print them or just have them up on your computer. I could at first, but then you start doing so many that my printouts were all over the place. So I just pull them up, and then I either save them in a folder because they're common things that you're going to do. Or the other thing that I do is I just pull up my website. My website has everything. And if you pull up your website and you pull up all these common things, and then you save them as favorites and you put them in a special folder, then you can go in there and right click on that folder and say, open all 12. And then bam, they all open at the same time. You don't have to keep going and researching and researching and research. Look at Jen is like, so because when we do our Thursday night events, we always talk about the spa bar, and the spa bar has 12 items on there. And I was always like, open, open, open. So I was like, oh, this worked. And so right click, bam, they all open. So you just open those, and then I just go to the, you know, there's a lot of tabs down there that are like main things that you need to know. And I would just go right off that. Do I know a lot of the things? Yeah. And I might, but if I get too personal, I'm going to go through my 5 and product. So I just said, here's my product. And then I would go and I would talk about it. Right. And so I get through the 5 products. And then at the end, this was before holiday time. So hers takes a little different angle, and she talks about deals and stuff. But at the very end, what I told her is, okay, 5 minutes is up and I'm done. You know, I'm like, how was that? You know, I would go through them all. How did you have any questions, or what was your favorite? And then we would just conversate. Like that was the end of the 5 minutes. And they're like, I had one girl that was like, okay, thanks, bye. Like 5 minutes was done. I was like, oh, okay, there's 5 minutes. But one out of like 20 or whatever I did, but she was the only one. And she never does things. She was a customer who would never communicate with me like that. Like never.
So the 5 minutes was a lot for her.
Yeah.
You're like, thank you for that time.
She's like, I was like, okay. But I sent her a huge pink pack. Do you have a question?
Well, I have a comment.
Yeah.
If you guys have already gone through your customers and you're looking for that second appointment, limited edition products for the 5-minute faves every single quarter.
Mm-hmm.
You can keep touching base with your customers every quarter and do limited edition products in that 5-minute time frame.
Yeah, she's talking about doing limited
love
edition. I'm not sure if you guys could hear that
They
or not.
can't, so repeat everything that you hear.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so she was saying I'm looking for that second appointment that you can go in there and do limited edition of products for that second appointment. Hey, I just noticed it says Senior Sales Director. Thank you. Oh, that's so cool. And the little
I told you we all have our own technology strengths. We just come together. We're one powerful team.
That's awesome. Okay, so then at the end of that, I would tell her, okay, so if you wanted to get any products from, I just took it exactly what their scripts was. If you buy 1 product, I'm going to give you 10%, 2 products, 15%, 3 products, 20%. And if you give me 5 referrals that I can do this 5 and 5 with, then I'll give you an additional 5% off on top of whatever level you're buying at. And then when she gave me the 5 names, she's like, oh yeah, I think I can give you some 5 names. How about I just text you? Because they are still in the mode of those 5 minutes. Like, so I have to respect that. Like, okay, I'm just going to get off. And I'm like, okay, sure. You can text me those names. And then, you know, with those names, actually, if you wanted to get those people together and we all get on one call, I'll give you a 50% shopping spree off of everything that you get. If you have all those 5 girls on one call. And she's like, what? Okay. I'm like, all right. And I just did exactly like the video did. If you watch the video in that link I sent you, just watch it and it does exactly like that. So, and that's what I did. And I ended up getting more referrals and more appointments. And it was just craziness. Yeah, it was a huge sales.
I would say, and she had a gold medal.
Yeah.
I mean, she did all the things. She
I
didn't
did-
just sell it; she recruited.
There
through
was
that too. Yeah.
there was a lot, yeah. And I actually, because you know, some of the people that recruited in the gold medal that I did last month were actually referrals from customers.
There you go.
So, and I'm sorry I can't see you over there.
They're watching.
Oh.
They can see you.
Oh.
See, this is the beauty of this. Everybody can see. You.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I like do eye contact when I can't see you like there. Okay.
I felt the same way.
But yeah, they so the referrals from referrals. So I actually had somebody call me and say, okay, my friend is so and so, and I want to start Mary Kay. I was like, okay. And I'm like, and so I have a referral program for customers and for joining my team. So I give away, you know, when I first started, it was like 10 and 25. That's what we're taught. And then I bumped it up to, I will give them even more than that. So I'm at like $50 or $25 for a referral that joins my team. Okay. So then, so we close that out. And then after we close that out, then we can follow up with them on the marketing. Well, before we close it out, I actually did follow and saying, hey, because it was the holidays. I'm like, hey, if you have a couple more minutes, I'd love to just show you all our holiday packages. Have you finished your Christmas shopping yet? And do you have a few more minutes? You know, I'm respecting your time. Oh yeah, sure. That's fine. And then I had all my holiday stuff there and I was able to do that. But you can also turn it and say, you know, if you do have, you know, for 5 more minutes, I'm going to do a drawing. If you want to stay in for another 5 minutes, I'm just going to tell you a couple things about the Mary Kay business and share why I got so excited about starting my business and where I'm at. And, you know, do you got a couple minutes to listen? And then your name's going to go into a drawing for this handbag I'm doing at the end of the month. You know, and so they'll be like, oh yeah, sure, a couple more minutes. Or, you know what, today's not good. You know, how about tomorrow? Okay, so then you reschedule that marketing appointment. Right. So then now you have marketing appointments, which is great. Oh, there's my time.
One question, Trish, that was asked. Do you have a copy of the forms that customer fill out at the end?
Okay. There's actually a Google Doc. So you can in the
Dropbox.
In the Dropbox that's there, there's a Google Doc that you can actually click. Now don't fill the Google Doc out because it's her Google Doc. Yeah. So you got to just go in there and browse through the Google Doc
and just create
your own. And I have a bunch of Google Docs too that we do for all of our events. So and there's a lot. What I sent you to is our Monday night.
We got a lot of trainings. I'm writing all these down. Don't worry, I will write these down.
Yeah, it's actually a Google form. Everybody says Google Doc, but it's a Google
I'm going to
form.
tell you right now, and Trish, you can repeat this in the online. I'm going to put money down that what Trish, me, and Jen all learned with, we probably Googled ourselves.
Yes.
Nobody taught us.
Right.
We all figured it out. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Right?
Exactly.
So you can figure it out too, I promise.
Yes.
I promise.
We go on.
It's not on
It's on the first, it's in one of the documents. It's inside a document. I saw it. It's inside the document of, I'll show you.
5 links to resources.
Yes, that's it.
5 and 5 links to resources. There's a Google Doc in there.
Yep.
It's,
Under Google, we go into 5 and 5 resources.
No. That sheet I handed out.
I know, Trace. I got her. Yeah.
That sheet I handed out.
I didn't get a sheet.
Oh.
Yeah, we didn't
All
get a
right.
sheet.
Oh, you guys think it's sheets?
We didn't get a sheet.
They're over there. Can you guys hand them? They're behind you.
All right, Trish, you want to close us out real
Yeah.
quick so I can go to the next?
Yeah.
Total time that you book the entire appointment. I know you're sharing the products for 5 minutes, but open chat close.
That we're late.
The whole thing.
Okay, so she was asking, how long is the appointment from open to close?
There's more up there.
Okay, so she was asking how long is open to close. Some of them were literally 5 minutes because I told them 5 minutes because they wanted to get off. Others, I was on there for like 30 minutes.
Okay.
So
I was just wondering, like in your schedule, block a half hour.
Yeah,
block 45.
I had back to backs, and so I blocked 30 minutes just in case.
Thanks.
So it was back to back.
Okay.
So anyway, I think that was it. Oh yeah, we did. So I did marketing too at the end of those, you guys. So some of them I would just build on that. You know.
Let's give it up for our Senior Sales Director, Trish Pacheco.
Thank you.
Yay, Trish. I know we have lots of questions, so if you guys have more questions, you guys can feel free to ask them. You guys, here's the deal. This has been super cool in person, and we've had some great trainers. How much do you love having like the diversity of training too, right? I love this. I love learning. I already thought we're going to have a tech week. We're going to figure all this technology. You guys, here's what Trish said, good things can come from bad situations. You guys, we are so blessed right now. Like, you have no idea what's about to happen. You better hold on tight to your seats because we're about to close this out with a double whammy. And we're going to start it. I'm going to cry. I'm so excited. We're going to start it with $1 million sales director, Cindy Machado Flippin. Hold on. I'm going to show you how excited everyone is. Yay.
Whoop.
Whoop. It's okay. We're dropping things. It's fine. We're ready.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to tell you she says hi.
Who?
Tracy. Who's Tracy?
I think I know a Tracy in Arizona.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm excited to be with you all. I love technology and I love you guys. And I'm just going to take a little bit of time here to help tie this in a bow. I know that you had some incredible training and that you're full. And so I am here to really encourage you on how do you take what you've taken in today. And by the way, my name is Cindy Machado Flippin, if you don't know who I am. And I'm in Austin, Texas. And I just got off of our January Jumpstart with Pam Shaw, Julia Burnett, and Leah Laughlin. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, it tied into what I wanted to share with you. And so I'm going to give you 3 bullet points of some things that I feel is perfect to close out a January Jumpstart where you've gotten tons of information and also to start a new year. I've been talking a lot with my unit about visualization, vision, and I just realized the doorbell rang and I wonder if something happened to my dog. Anyway, we're just going to hope for the best. Okay, so visualization and on affirmations. And Pam has been talking a lot about this too. What was so funny because Leah and Julia kind of trained on the same thing too. And you can take all kinds of information that you just got here, January Jumpstart, and you can go, oh my gosh, I'm going to do this. And how many times have we started a year this way? And you ask yourself, what can be different? How do I know that I am going to be different going into taking this and running in this new year? Like, oh, what is it that just keeps me repeating cycles? And even if you're new, you may have a pattern in your life that you have started a new year with great intentions, but for some reason it just kind of doesn't translate into results. So the first thing is, I want to ask you a couple of questions, is when you're fatigued, which we were a lot in 2020, and we're starting off in 2021, it's a carryover. Listen, this isn't all over, and we're still going to have to deal with a lot of stuff in our world, right? And so when you're fatigued, whether it's working virtually online, working with your kids, online, all the stuff that we have to deal with, and you're tired, what are your thoughts? Because you're thinking when you're fatigued, it's really important that you're aware of how you're talking to yourself and how you're looking at a situation, because we are still going to be challenged with all this stuff that's still going on. And so your thoughts matter. And when you're tired and you're fatigued, we are more likely to give in and give up or go to some comfort. Okay, we run towards comfort and we usually turn away from discomfort, right? From pain. And so if you can change the way you think in a situation when you're tired or fatigued, you're more likely to make a better decision and have a better outcome. So be aware of your thoughts when you're tired. And the second thing is we need to rewire our brain. And many times, you all, what we resist is we resist change, even if change would lead us to a better life, right? Change is hard. And we gravitate to familiar. Okay, so your situation is familiar. your title, your place in this business, maybe a job that you have, the way that your life is running, whether it's good or bad, it's familiar. And we like familiar. But in order for you to grow, you have to go through change. And change is pain, and change is hard. And so instead, we want to rewire our brain. And instead of saying that this is hard for me, I want you to instead say, this is unfamiliar. This is unfamiliar to me, and that's why I'm uncomfortable working online virtually. I'm uncomfortable talking to new people, text booking, whatever, closing the sale, recruiting. So if you're unfamiliar with it, it feels awkward, it feels clunky, and then we think it's hard or it's something, and then it's something that we resist. So instead, I want you to look at it differently and say, you know what, this is just unfamiliar. It's just like when you go to, have you ever been to, Julia used this example, if you go to a fine dining restaurant, you've never been to a fine dining restaurant, you feel a little self-conscious and a little awkward, maybe, right? And you go in and you're like, oh my gosh, everyone is just like so proper and I feel so out of place. Like maybe if you've never been to something like that, which I totally get, right? It's unfamiliar. But then after you go a couple of times, it's like that way when you go to maybe a new church, or maybe first time you came to the studio, you go in and you feel a little weird. You don't know the verbiage, you don't know anybody, everybody is dressed a certain way, you don't really like, and then after a while, it's totally comfortable. Hey, how are you? And it's like second home. It's the same thing with booking. It's the same thing with anything in the business. It is unfamiliar because you haven't done it enough to get to a place where it's not so hard. And so that would be a shift in your brain that you're going to want to do. And then the last thing I want to share with you is something that has radically shifted for me, because I had reached a point in my career where I'd accomplished everything that I could as a sales director. And I had never really thought, I didn't think that I had ever visualized, and I wasn't one for goal posters and affirmations and visualizing ever, right? Wrong. In my memory of growing my business, I never realized that I was always visualizing where I was going. The difference is I always believed I could do that next thing. Okay. I believed I would earn my car. I just happened to have that belief. I am futuristic, I'm positive, and I'm activator. Those are like three, power punch. I can do anything if I put my mind to it. And I just really worked my business that way. And I remember earning my first diamond ring on the seminar stage as a consultant. It was the very first big thing that I earned, right? And in the National Court of Sales. And I pictured myself walking across stage. I pictured myself picking up that ring. And I pictured myself I pictured myself in the audience not doing it. And I just had this vision, and I was not going to not do it. And I did it. And I was so far from it at one point, I can't even believe I did it. But I saw it first. And then it was the same thing in debuting as a sales director. I saw myself walking across the stage. I saw myself as $1 million director. I saw myself in that as number one. Now, my goal wasn't necessarily to be number one when we were number one at seminar. But what happened is that I knew my goal is always to be at least in the top 10, top 3. When we started to rank that, I started visualizing it. And as I started visualizing, I knew, and in my mind, really my whole career, I always believed in my heart, one day we're going to be number one. It's a vision. Cindy Williams talks about visualizing, picturing, rehearsing that she was going to be number one at seminar. This is not an option, is what I've come here to tell you. This is not an option. You cannot go where you want to go until you've gone there in your mind first. And if you've not played it out in Technicolor, if you have not played it out and rehearsed it every single day, day in, day out, multiple times, it is not going to happen. Your brain is a computer. Your mind is the operator. Your brain is pliable and you have neural pathways, but your mind is what you feed. Okay, it's the operator. And what you're thinking in your mind and the thoughts you're playing is what's happening in your life. And unless you visualize and verbalize, it's not going to happen. So one of the things that Leah was saying is, and Julia, is what is your most dominant thought? Okay, what is your most dominant thought? When the things that you're familiar with and the things you're unfamiliar with. Okay, so you're familiar with, okay, you're tired, you're ending your day. Are you familiar with grabbing some food and sitting in front of the TV? Or are you familiar with what are some things that you do that you really don't like that you do that you know are time wasters, but they're so familiar you do them that you want to stop doing them, right? And what are things that are unfamiliar that you haven't been willing to do because it's awkward, it's clunky, you feel weird about it. Maybe you have some limiting beliefs about it. And those are the things you are going to have to repackage and reword and reframe. So I would start with affirmations. So here's your homework. Number 1, start with affirmations. And you don't have to have a lot. It could be like one whole thing that you listen to or you read, but there needs to be a couple of key phrases that you go, okay, these 2 phrases are the 2 that are the most important things that I need to believe, that I want to own. And you say those because those are the things that are going to actually determine your actions. And as you take those actions to do what you're setting out to do, your visual is going to become easier. Okay, so here's what I started doing. So I had these affirmations and
It's okay. It's part of the
information. This started making a difference. What happened?
Sorry, you were garbling in and out.
Am I good now?
Yes.
Okay. So you got the part that me, Tracy, and Carmen have been like doing our affirmations?
No, we missed that.
Okay, so we are. So, and we all 3 were saying like, starting the new year, we were changing up our affirmations and getting a lot more like tight with them and everything. And so we were like, oh my gosh, this is great, blah, blah, blah. And it really helped me. Then I was talking to Menina Givens. I don't know if you all know Menina in California, and their top director on Target for Million this year. She says radically changed her business, blah, blah, blah. She started visualizing more the $1 million march. And she goes, here's the key, you guys. Whatever you affirm and whatever you're saying, this is what I want. You have got to write out the affirmation. You got to promise that you're going to say them every day. And you got to create a visual that you're going to play out in your mind every day. Okay. And I'm going to tell you, there will be no evidence. You can't look for evidence and proof that it's going to happen. Because if there's proof, then that means that it's a lot of the same thing. Because if you can see it, that means it's probably something you're familiar with and you're trying to control. Faith is believing in what we can't see. So what your vision is what you cannot see happening yet. Okay, so don't sit here and go, well, I don't know, I've never done that before. So what? Doesn't matter. Okay, so that's the first thing. You have to get that into play. And then the second thing is get some music. I love this on Spotify, but you could Pandora, whatever. Search for soaking music, and this music I like Soaking in His Presence. Is really good worship instrumental. You play it and you sit quietly for about 10 minutes and you close your eyes. So I want you guys to close your eyes and I want you to visualize. Now I'm going to share with you my visualization to give you an example, and then you need to create your own. So I sit and I picture I'm at my dream home because Curtis and I have already designed our dream home. We know what it looks like. And I walk up to someone's at the door and I open these French doors out to a delivery man who has a box in his hand. This box is a flat box that I take inside and I bring it into my dream bedroom, and I open up the box and it's the national sales director suit. And I take out the jacket and the skirt and I put it on, and I can see in the mirror. I know exactly what my hair looks like. I know what color shoes I'm wearing, and the suit fits perfectly. And I grab my keys and I go out in our circular driveway that's a gated yard. And I go into my national pink car and I drive off to speak at an event. And then now I see myself walking into the seminar arena in that suit. And I'm with my husband and we're sitting in the section, the national section. And then I hear the announcement that says, well, all of the Machado Flippin' directors make their way backstage. This is your stage call. And I see them getting up from all over the arena and walking and gathering and walking to the back. And I see them in their director suits and I see their faces. And I see us backstage together and I hear my song playing, walking out in the center of the stage with my husband. And I see my sister and my niece and my great niece and my mom, the Machado girls, all on stage. And I see all of my directors and I see their faces lined up. And the stories and the journey that we've gone through to be at this place feels so real. If you can't paint it like that, then what's going to get you up in the morning when you're tired? When you just had a zero party? What's going to get you up? We've got to have that visual in our mind to create it first. And now I just see it every day. And everything I do and every decision that I make now lines up with making that a reality. But if you don't know where you're going, what you're doing and your choices, they won't line up. They won't be intentional because there's no intention. It will be rote. It will be like just going through the motions, right? And we don't want to go through the motions in 2021. Here's two things. You either be the star that people hitch to, or you hitch yourself to a star. There's a story of an Olympian, Usain Bolt, and he ran this race, broke a world record, and won a gold medal, and the silver and the bronze medal winners also broke world records in the same race. And they interviewed the silver and the bronze medal winners, and they said, wow, you broke those records. Like, what made you run your best? And they said, we were just trying to keep up with Usain. You will bring out the best in your team members in the Red Jackets on your Red Jacket team and in your DIQ team. You'll bring out the best in the women in your unit when you are your best. So let's make 2021 the year we all break our records. Thank you guys for having me. Did I freeze again?
Yeah, you did, but it was really good and beautiful, even through the freezing.
Oh, it was so good. Sorry.
I don't think even with the freezing, we all didn't feel it, right? There's tears. We felt it. And, we're just grateful that, you're in Austin and we're here. And so thank you. I cannot tell you, Cindy Mack, you know this already. I've told you this, but I feel like we were born to be a national sales director, but pouring into us and choosing to pour into us when you have a lot going on for yourself. I know everyone in this room and all 30 people online are so grateful for your time, for your talent. And I just want to thank you for being a bold leader. You aren't just leading, but you're leading boldly. You're leading beautifully. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you all. Sorry for the bad
love you.
Love you.
Bye. Thank you, Cindy.
Bye.
They're all waving. I'm waiting for you.
Bye.
All right. You are just like, whoa.
Yeah.
And just your tears, just all the things. I know. Okay.
I had Kleenex out here.
I know. Well, here's the deal. I think that we're so blessed to have leaders upon leaders upon leaders. And maybe some of you know that we got a double dose of Cindy today. So now I'm going to introduce you to the Cindy of all Cindys, who is going to be jumping and making you jump out of your seat without even being here in person. But I want to give it up to the one, the only National Sales Director, Cindy Williams. Oh. Hold on. Cindy, I want to show you. Hold on. I was trying to show everyone to you. Hold on. It's the HDMI. No, it's the HDMI. Hold on, you're muted. Hold on. It's okay. Let me unmute
It's all
you.
good.
Hold on. Why
Oh,
isn't
I
it?
love that.
I think you have to unmute, Cindy. It's not letting me unmute you.
Bam.
There you are. Woo! Okay. Woo, woo, woo.
What's that color she's wearing?
I know. She's still kissing all of you.
Pink ballerina, baby.
Yes. All right. Well, we're glad you're here, so we're ready for this. I'm gonna let you take the stage.
Well, I loved listening to Cindy Mack and how she was visualizing being on the stage, because I know that was moving to all of you, thinking about where you will be on Seminar 21 stage, which will be my final seminar stage as a active national sales director. So really give some thought to the next 6 months and where you want to end up at Seminar 2021. And the biggest goal, of course, of all for any of us is to become an independent national sales director. And that's what Cindy Mack was walking through. And I know Carmen Felix can see it and feel it. I know Tracy's right there. I believe Robin, I believe all of you. You know, there's a difference between a dream and a goal. And a dream is someday and a goal is exactly when. So put it up on your dream board. We really need 2 boards. One's a dream board, your dream home, you know, your dream life. And these are the pillows on my couch. I pulled them off because this one says grateful. That's the source of all energy. Y'all know that, right? Being grateful. And then the next pillow, my sister gave me several years ago. It says, live the life you've imagined. And I love this one because I am living the life that I imagined. Then the third one's my favorite. And it says, sandy toes and salty kisses. Because as you know, I live on the water, and I really do believe that I am living my dream life, that it all started with being grateful. And I'm just so eternally grateful that I am an independent national sales director. And this is the final year. So I can really give some energy and some passion and a reason to do it now, to be a member of the Din Din Club. Do it now, do it now, do it now, because I want to celebrate with you. I will be standing at the bottom of the stairs. If you ever been to seminar with me on awards night, I never sit down. I'm up every single time. The only reason I miss you coming off the stage is Mary Key's got me backstage doing something, which is quite often because they keep us busy. But I am watching you from the big screen backstage. I don't miss one person because I want to feel it with you. I want to celebrate it with you. And I want to be there to hug you and encourage you. So I really want you to be thinking about seeing yourself on that seminar stage. And every single one of you can be in the Queen's Court of Sales and the Queen's Court of Sharing. Even in the last 6 months, if you are a brand new independent beauty consultant, we did a Zoom this morning, our Super Saturday, and it was so good. It was all about clinical solutions and how that one product launch can totally be a game changer for all of us these next 6 months. And now getting ready for it this month is so important. So when it is available to our customers, that we'll be ready. This is a product that's going to take us being beauty consultants, not just beauty sellers or beauty tellers. We've got to be educated and be ready for that launch. So really pay attention to that product because it is going to be amazing. Dermatologists recommend you start using it at age 20. This is not something that comes along later. It's for almost all ages and almost all skin types. So it really is. And it's a revolutionary product. We have some exciting things in our product that makes it different than anything else out there. So there is the video on InTouch that's available right now. So it's about a 20-minute long video. Be sure to watch that. And then below the video, there's all kinds of information. Y'all may have talked about that today already, that you want to click on, watch the additional videos, read the reports, read the products you shouldn't be using while you're using clinical solutions. Just become educated and realize that this launch can totally change where you end up at Seminar 2021. So I really want you to think about directors, being triple star, quarter sales, quarter sharing, and unit club. We can all do that. Consultants and directors, earning our diamond rings, from Mary Kay. It's a big dog deal to be honored. And then the ultimate, is your bumblebees for hitting the court of sharing, 24 Great Start qualified in the whole seminar year. So I wanted to talk to you about seminar. And then the ultimate goal is to have new national sales directors debut this year. And I know that you're either working on being a national or you're a part of a national area that's working on becoming a national. So ask your leader, where are we? What can I do? Be clear. Your leader needs to hear from you. It's not just a one-way street. We need to be affirmed and we need direction, and we get discouraged too. So it's vital. I got a little meme today from Gina Beck after the Zoom workshop, and it said, "You are essential." And I thought, what a great compliment that she valued me after all of these years. And I needed that. When you think your leader doesn't need that, no, she needs it more than ever, especially if the goal is really, really big. So affirm your leader. Gloria Mayfield and I did a Zoom yesterday for Priska, who is on the cusp of becoming a national sales director in Switzerland. And this is so interesting. Her story is she was working full time, commuting back and forth, had 2 little kids, like 1 and 2, going through a horrific divorce and doing Mary Kay. It was fun, but she wasn't really passionate and driven. It was just fun, making a little money. And then her director told her that her director had never won the top director trip, and she wanted to earn the trip that year, and the trip was to Switzerland. And Gloria thought, you know what? I can be a part of that. And Gloria went on to break a company record. She became a sales director, yes, for herself, but really it started with the dream to support her leader. When you go up, rising waters float all boats. It pushes everybody else up. And her director earned her first top director trip that year, and Gloria broke a record. And guess whose record Gloria broke? Mine. And then my story is I was a consultant, having a great time, did not even think about becoming a sales director. I love my customers. I love my team, but I love Jackie having all the responsibilities. I didn't want the responsibility. And then Jackie said she wanted to earn her first top director trip. Same story as Gloria, and I didn't know that until yesterday about her story. I thought, you know what? I want my leader to accomplish that, and I will do my part. And then, of course, I had my own personal goals, but it was a win-win. And Jackie earned her first trip that year, you guys. And I finished May the 31st as a new sales director, breaking 2 company records, and that pushed her over to her first trip. She went on to win the trip every year after that, just like breaking belief barriers, like those racers to catch up with another person. She went on to become an independent national sales director and an inner circle national sales director. But what if I had not been a part of her unit that year? What if I hadn't been the one that hit the goal to push her up because it broke her belief barriers? She'd been in Mary Kay for 10 years and earned her first trip. So I just want you to remember that. I think sometimes we need somebody to run with or to run for. And there's so many women in that room with you and so many watching, on this StreamYard or wherever you've got it, that need you to rise up. And so I encourage you to really think about the difference that you're making for someone else as well as your own. And it reminds me too of the warm fuzzy story. I shared this with Switzerland yesterday. If you've never heard it or read it, just Google it. It's like a child story, a little story, like a fairy tale. But Mary Kay Ash taught it to us over and over again. I was with Mary Kay Ash for 20 years and now been without her for 20 years. And then Jackie Swank told the warm fuzzy story all the time. Jackie kept a whole bag of little pink warm fuzzies in her bag. Every sales meeting, every skincare class, she would pull out these little fuzzy balls and peel off the bottom, and she would stick them on the shoulder. And a warm fuzzy is like a hug. It's like joy. It's kindness. It's taking the time to reach out to somebody. I care, you count. Golden rule, all that you put into the lives of others comes back into your own. And
I thought of that story the other morning, and I thought, oh my gosh, now more than ever with COVID, the shutdown, people being sick, the climate, the government, people have been caged. They've been, away from each other, from gathering, and we can become fearful or we can become anxious, and some people even angry. And right now, I just think, wow, I've got this big bag of warm fuzzies. And more than ever, I need to be and want to be passing it out. I want to be the light in the darkness. And what does that look like? Well, our bag is our starter kit. And our warm fuzzies are when we connect with people and we invite them to a Zoom like today. You'll feel better. This is the light in your dark world because you joined us today. When you invite that person to have a makeover, and when you're not just giving her a sample, I was coaching a consultant yesterday. She said, I'm doing all this work and just can't get any bookings. And I said, well, tell me what you're doing. And she said, I handed out 3 samples today to people. I said, well, what were the samples? And tell me more about that. She was given full-size Miracle 3D sets, the whole little skincare line, which is a little pricey, and saying, try this tonight and call me back and let me know tomorrow if you like it. And I said, well, it's never going to work, maybe 1 in 100 times. I said, yes, the product sells itself, but only when they know the benefits. And really, you sell the product by your conviction, your belief. They want to know the benefits to you. It's our storytelling about the product and about the opportunity that moves people. And I think right now, you're going to have to be more influential to get people to join you on a Zoom for the product, the opportunity, or for training. Like today, I had 100 people on our Zoom out of 3,000. So don't ever get discouraged when you've just got a few. It's always going to be you and a few customers, you and a few team members, you and a few leaders wanting to move up. It's you and the few. So say encourage. It's God's grace and your grit to see the potential instead of the obstacles. They really can become your stepping stones. So I just would really want you to realize it's going to take you asking more often, following up. They don't know that they don't need us. People don't know that they don't need our product. People don't know that they don't need this circle of influence. But you keep going with them. Jackie Swank was so passionate. She just would not let me not go to seminar. She knew I needed it. I didn't have 2 cents to rub together. I didn't want to go, but she sold me on it. And that's where the dream was born. So you've got to, quote, sell people on getting with you. That's your goal, is to become more of a storyteller, more of a follow-up person. Get those people that have said no to you. Just keep letting them know how much you believe in it, showing before and after pictures, letting them see you take off all your makeup. Tracy Chavez did that. We did that on a Zoom one time. She was the narrator and I took it all off and we did a skincare class, online. Those are what people like. They dig the real thing. They dig raw and real. And so, yes, I think it's going to take a little more influence today to get people to connect. They're zoomed out, they're stressed because they've been at home. They've lost a lot of their quote norms. Their financial situation has changed, their husbands, all kinds of stuff. Protecting themselves and protecting others, there's a stress. And so are you going to be the person that really just keeps on handing out the love? Are you going to keep handing out those warm fuzzies? And remember, they are disguised as Mary Kay makeovers, as Mary Kay training workshops, as Mary Kay marketing plans. And there are people that are rocking it out. I talked to Nan Arthur. She's a brand new sales director. She had 4 agreements already in this month. She's going for a double gold medal to launch January 2021. She was going to have 5 before this weekend was over, and I believe she will. She's brand new. She's still working a full-time job. She just finished her qualifications for directorship, and she is just on a mission. She wants to leave the full-time job, and she's replacing her income with her Mary Kay business right now. So just when someone else says, wow, this is hard in the middle of COVID, there's somebody else that's figured it out, problem solved. And only you can do that. How it works for you, we're all the different sprinkle on the cupcake. How it works for me, how it works for you is going to be different, but it doesn't really matter how it works. I was talking to Susan Moore this morning on how in the world did she make it as a new consultant. So shy, no money. And she told the story. She said, Cindy, I don't know if you even remember this, but you told me if I really wanted to be successful, I had to be at seminar. She said, I didn't have any money, and Mark only got so many weeks vacation a year. The only way she could do it was to get a temporary job. He took a week's vacation out of the military, stayed home with their 2 babies so she could go work a temp job. She had the thing they give you, the tab or whatever, the piece of paper that shows how much money you made. It was $326 that she made working temp that week that Mark stayed home with the 2 kids. So she had enough money to go to seminar. She said we stayed in a terrible hotel and it cost them $10 a piece for the 3 days. That's how much money they had to stay in the hotel. And, you know, she packed food in her suitcase, just like Mary Kay taught her first seminar, but she was there and that dream was born. And she went on to earn her car and become a sales director her first year. So there's problem solvers. There's figured outers. She didn't say I don't have any money. She went and got a temp job and had her husband stay home for a week with the kids so she could work the temp job. And I don't even remember that. But she came across the pay stub this week and went, oh my gosh, I figured it out. Why? She wanted her kids to go to private Christian school. It's something that was on her spirit, and she had no way of doing that without bringing in the extra money for Mary Kay to still be a work from home mama and not leave those babies. So whatever your dream, whatever your goal, Mary Kay's the vehicle to do that. And it may take you doing something different than somebody else has done. Don't compare yourself. Don't look side to side. Mary Durr and I were talking this morning about the Gallup Strength Finders, which I really love. And 3 of our top 5 are identical, Mary's and I. But the other 2 are different. But 3 of our top 5 are exactly the same. And I thought, wow, it's so interesting how God gives us similarities, but also very, different personalities too. So I hope that you will, get to know yourself better, to thine own self be true, learn what motivates you in your balcony and when you're working out of your basement, what those things reveal about yourself. I'm someone that loves to win. And I have my Star Consultant Prize brochure right here. I know Kathy Nicholas, I saw that she posted, she was in her UGG pink robe. She lives in Wyoming. And I thought, how wonderful, that's what she earned. And I know Betty Lear won, because some people tell me she won the North Face vest. And I think somebody else told me that they won the luggage, the Vera Bradley luggage. But, decide no matter what you earn, you work towards that to be a star. And now we've got the new quarter. So celebrate what you've already accomplished. Don't forget to celebrate yourself for being a star. And then you set the new goal for the new quarter. And I always look at it and decide, okay, what do I want to earn? What do I want to work for? Instead of just taking what you end up with. There's a lot of cool prizes this quarter. But the one that really struck me the most is this towel warmer, because Mary Kay taught us to give ourselves Cinderella prizes that probably wouldn't buy for ourselves. And I can't think of anything more luxurious than a warm towel, on a brisk morning when you get out of the shower. And so look in your bathroom, see if there's a place that it would go, and it'll hold 2 towels. And I like the fact you don't have to fold them, just chunk them in there. And then you break it down. This is a Pearl Girl, 4,800. So you think, how many recruits am I going to get this quarter? Let's just say you're going to do one a month. That would give you 3 Great Start Qualified. That's 3 times 600 points is 1,800 points minus the 48. That leaves 3,000 wholesale, which means 6,000 retail. And you just divide that out by the number of weeks. And then you start working towards that. That's going to be 1,000 wholesale a month, right? To get to 3,000 at the end of the 3 months. And so you just start with where you are today, January the 9th, look and see how many days are left till March the 15th, and you break it down. Just like, Cindy talked to us about goal setting and visualizing and tracking. You've got to write it down. I was coaching somebody yesterday, talking to them, and I said, what's your STAR goal? And they said, well, I'm not sure. I was like, okay, well, and then I had her set the goal. And then I said, now you guys don't get this poster. Directors get the poster, a reason to be a director. But you can print it out off of you're in touch. I encourage you to print it out. And the way I do mine is every time I order, I write it on the page. Whether it's a $225 or if it's a $1,200 order, I write down my wholesale, and every time I get a recruit, I draw a circle and put her name under it. And then as soon as she's I write down every time she orders, and as soon as she hits 600, I make it a smiley face. And so I can count my qualified recruits. So you got to track it. Any goal has to be trackable. You can eat an elephant a bite at a time, but you have to see where you are and then adjust. If you're a little behind, we're almost 1 month into the quarter. Today is January 9th. The quarter started December 16th. So by January 16th, you would want to be 1/3 towards your goal, or you have two choices. You either reset the goal or you just up your activity to play catch up. And these are all basic things, but you think, how in the world, Cindy, here you are, Miss Inner Circle National, talking to us about warm fuzzies on your shoulder and star consultant. That's where it starts. We're all a hot mess. We're all the same. I was talking to Martha Daniel. She's been with me for over 30 years. I love her. She just had major surgery. Martha's in her mid-80s, a very successful director in Oklahoma. I mean, just one of the most powerful, positive strong women I've ever met. And her surgeon is a very acclaimed surgeon. This is a special surgeon. It was female surgery. When you get older, sometimes things drop, and my mom had to have that surgery. I remember where they tack your bladder up and put everything back up in place. Children need to thank their mothers. But it was a tough surgery, and she called me today, and she's, feeling better. And she said, Cindy, I just have to thank you for all the years of influence. She said, I told my surgeon how grateful I was that she was a successful woman. And I just shared with her that I think, being a powerful, positive woman in this world is so important. She just gave her heartfelt appreciation for who she was. And she said, this female surgeon just looked at her and said, oh my God, would you come talk to my staff? You have no idea what you've done for me today. You are uncommon. And Martha said, Cindy, if it wasn't for Mary Kay all these years, I wouldn't have said that to her. I wouldn't have had it to say to her. But here she is, an acclaimed worldwide. She teaches all over the world. She uses a robot to do this surgery. It's something specialized. And she's very hard to get an appointment with. And I said, how'd you get the appointment, Martha? She said, my doctor that's been my doctor my whole life is a friend of hers, and he got me in. I said, wow, miracles. But she said that doctor, that highly acclaimed female doctor, was butter, putty in her hands when she affirmed her. So don't ever underestimate the value of giving that warm fuzzy to somebody else. Be the light, you guys. And it's going to take all of you to do it, because our light has been dimmed, even mine. There's just days, I'll just be honest, I was off the grid for almost 2 weeks in December. I'm still fighting a little bit. I didn't feel good, and some of my people are struggling, and it's hard on me. You act like it isn't, but it is. We love people, and we're the good shepherd over our sheep, our directors and our consultants. And some people, this has been hard. They haven't figured it out on how to work in the middle of COVID, and their business has gone down and not up, and it starts affecting me. And so I really did, I took a little window to retreat so that I could advance. For me, it was the best thing I could have done, because I came back like a phoenix out of the ashes, so passionate to work. And we are doing a leadership conference next weekend in San Antonio. I can't tell you how grateful I am. 55 directors and about 20 husbands are coming. So it's going to be an amazing gift to me after being separated for almost a year from my people. I need it desperately. And I know that we all need it. Not everybody can be there, of course. You want to protect yourself and protect those around you from getting sick. I just had my second COVID test. I coughing like crazy for a week. Got the results back this morning. I don't have COVID, but I had something. And so I just needed to know for sure before I came to my event. I was praying, so Lord, please, dear God, don't let it be COVID because I don't want to miss my event next weekend. But it's not. It's just whatever I had, some kind of a major congestion. But I'm doing 100% better. But we all have stuff. I just want y'all to hear that. And you think somebody else has this special gift, or Cindy, you're so motivating, or you have so much energy, or y'all, that is something I work on. Yes, I have my DNA. My number one strength is positivity. But I get just as discouraged as anybody else. I have to will my way back. Listen to the music, like Cindy said, look at my goal poster, break it down into something simple that I can achieve. I have a sunshine file where I put cards, and every Star Consultant prize I've ever won, I cut out the picture and I keep it in a folder, and that's 122 prizes. So on a day when I'm feeling like, I'm a hot mess, I just go back and look at my all the prizes I won, and I thought, well, dang, girl, you must be pretty good. I look back at the cards that people have written me that were moving to me, that affirm me, like Gina's thing, you are essential. So be kind to yourself, give yourself some grace, and then focus back on the basics of giving yourself away. Focus back on the basics of being influential, becoming a storyteller, and getting people on the dang Zoom. Getting people, don't just give them a sample. You got to get with them and share with them. Open it up with them. That's the ticket, you guys. It's the relationship. It's the connection. If we could just send out samples and sell Mary Kay wouldn't need us. They just blast America or the world with samples. It's not the product. It's you and the product. Yes, we need the best product. Yes, I'm so grateful I look so dang good because I've used, and Martha was so funny. She said they came out. She was in the room with just her and this other man to call her to go back for an appointment during this Operation Series thing. And she said the lady came out and said, is there anybody else that's another woman anywhere? And it was a guy and Martha. And she said, no, I don't think so. She says, well, I'm looking for a Martha Daniel. And Martha said, well, that's me. And the lady said, that can't be you. Because Martha is old and she looks so good and she's so full of energy. The lady said no. And she said the surgeon even. She said before they put her to sleep, the surgeon had said, go in there and look at this woman. Before we put her out. And she's used Mary Kay faithfully for 30-something years, but also she's positive and powerful and grateful. And she was affirming all the doctors instead of worrying about herself. Y'all, can you just see that? That's who we are. Y'all, that's who we are. And like the surgeon said, you are uncommon. Be the light. I looked it up and I put it in something, but there's this little thing that one dot of light can dissipate the darkness, but no amount of darkness can put out the light. You just got to be that speck of light. And right now you're needed. You're needed in our country. I cannot turn on the news, just so you know. I won't let Dean Piper talk to me about it because it makes me so sad. I could cry right now. It makes me so sad. And I will not let that penetrate my soul. All I can really do is pray and work. Love you. Be the light. Be the warm fuzzy. To everyone I know within 3 feet, Mary Kay said, anybody within 3 feet of you, you tell them the story. You tell them the story, Cindy. You tell them, and that's why I keep my little presents in my purse. Those are my warm fuzzies, my God thought cards, my lookbooks. I like to connect with something. That's just the way I do it. That's my warm fuzzy. So promise me you'll Google the warm fuzzy story. You'll read it. It's short and sweet. There's a cute little video. I actually shared it with the directors. You can even watch it, about, just a couple of minutes long. And then go find you some little fuzzy things to put on people's shoulders if they're not afraid of germs. Just be safe. But I believe fear and faith cannot occupy the same space. And I am full of faith. I am not full of fear. So I promise you this, your senior national inner circle, Cindy Williams, will tap it out this year. I'll give you my best. I'll give it my all. And I pray to God that you have a dream and a goal to be on the stage with me. My final opportunity to be celebrating you and you to be celebrating me. Because Seminar 2022, I'll get to go up stage as an emeriti. I'll say, yay, good job, and I'll go sit in the audience. That'll be it. That's how it works. December 31st, 2021, my computer will go off and I can't see what you're doing. I can't see the in-touch screen. It'll completely be over. So tap it out this year. Use me. Take advantage of this opportunity. They've just given you a raise. When you have at least 5 people in one red jacket, you unlock a new opportunity to make money on your second tier. They've never done that before. They're being more generous with income now when other companies are taking it away. You guys, you could not have a better opportunity. You could not have a better product. But now tag, you're it. Just like I had to figure it out in all my life in an unhealthy marriage and raising 3 boys and all the things I had to overcome that I didn't talk about, nobody knew about, but I still figured it out to run my business. Many times I put my kids to bed and put my husband to bed, and I'd get up and I'd go work in my office for several hours working on my communication, postcards, thinking, strategizing, working on how to build my business. I'd go to bed. Nobody even knew I was doing it. And I'm not saying that you're going to pay the price for success, but when you're passionate, you bound out of bed like a gazelle. If you're tired all the time, you don't have a big enough goal. That's just the way it is. That's just #truth. Take your vitamins. Food is fuel. Y'all already know all that. I preach it all the time. But this can be the best year of your life. I know it will be my best year. And I pray that you will take advantage of everything around you and make it the best year of your life too. So thank you for inviting me to be with you today. I love you all.
Yay. Thank you so much, Cindy. Woo, woo, woo. Thank you. Thank you so much. We love you huge. And for all of you online, we are going to end the broadcast right now. So thank you guys and happy 2021. Woo, woo.